Hello my beautiful badgers, Messicoder back again with another live dev interview. This one was taken on my live dev stream, or the w.twitch.tv/themessicoder, where I was joined at Christmas time with Yondernaut's Games Chris. We were playing about with NeoFPS and RayFire. That's right, we've been playing with RayFire in this video. Since then I've had Chris on to talk about the updates to NeoFPS, and I've also had RayFire on the show. But I think this is a great video to upload to show you how you can get RayFire working with something like NeoFPS. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a second. So, unfortunately, Unity seemed to have gone a bit blind on this sale because they missed out one of the best FPS kits on the Unity Asset Store to be included in the sales.
I got in the Singles Day sale, but that was it.
Ah. How did you get much traction in that sale? In that Japanese Singles Day sale?
I got one. I got one sale at half price.
But did you get much? One person bought it.
One person. But I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, it's not like I can localize all of the documentation for an asset like this with every update for Asian countries. That's just, it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. They need to learn English and stop being lazy. That's what it is.
One guy did.
Do you know what? You need to have it in the actual help guides, like, you know, like choose your language and have like 50 different languages, right? When you choose a language, you go learn English, and that'll be it.
In their language.
Yeah, exactly.
Google translated learn English, so it doesn't really make sense anyway.
I don't have $75, says Mill POS. Well, can we do something to help them, Chris?
Oh, maybe. Well, there's a couple of keys going, isn't there?
Should we give away a couple of vouchers to NeoFPS tonight?
All right. Yeah, we could do.
We'll do that in honor of the last stream, and we've also got. Don't let me forget. We're going to re-raffle one of Holistic 3D's courses that was left on the shelf, and it was. I'll tell you in a second, because I've forgotten which one it was. It was one of them. There you go. It was. You could win. You can win. You can do it if you really want. I can't remember what the hell it was. You can. Where the hell is it? There it is. You can win an asset, a tutorial, either beginner's guide, FPS shooter, learn ECS with dots, design patterns for game programming, create 3D endless runner, kart racing. I think one of those was left, but you know what? Big Gamey was like, you know what? I ballsed it up, so he was going to give us an extra key. So he's lovely. So there you go. Check out the Holistic 3D website on holistic3d.com. Thank you very much for doing the exclamation Holistic 3D Sengoku. Right. Let's rub our hands together, and I will load up the special project. Do you know what? Before I load up the special project, Chris,
go on, then.
Shall I show you something that I bought in the last sale? I will show you what I bought in the last sale. This was on a discounted price, so I was you know what, I'm gonna get this. It's the sci-fi base from manufacturer K4, and I know what you're gonna say. Every time I say I'm not gonna buy any more manufacturer K4 stuff because I never use it, I always end up buying another asset.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I know, but I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna use this, so I should buy it because I'm doing the sci-fi face-offs, and it's currently on sale again, €31 down from €62. So let me paste that link in chat for everyone. Another bot bites the dust. Oh, we had another. Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be? Oh, how does it go? Do you want to be a boxer in the golden ring? Do you remember that?
Not at all.
It was
Nope.
what's her name? The one from Silence of the Lambs, Clarice.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. She was in Bugsy Malone. That was it. Do you remember the kid
Okay.
with all the
Yeah.
kids dressed up in Bugsy Malone?
The splatter guns.
Yeah, the most surreal film ever made. Do you know what that film gave me nightmares as a kid? Because it wasn't that he was like scary. Is that I just didn't understand what the hell was going on. I was like, what the heck is this nonsense? So here is the MK4 kit, right?
It's pretty nice.
It does look pretty nice, but then every now and again, I've got some weird I don't know, it looks like it Z fine, but then I check the objects and I can't work out what's going on. And it's always the case with manufacturer K4's demo scenes. It depends on who he got to do the demo scene, because he kind of outsources that. It's either done really well or done really badly. It's no in between. It's like Marmite. Like this little panel here, right? That I just clicked on, 2,580 verts with 1,300 tries, and he's got that is oh my word, Mary and Joseph. That's the L2. The L1 LOD is 4. I thought that was like the main, but that's the 4,700. Okay, and then the L0, 6,000 verts for this catwalk thing. Oh my!
What's that? A 4-meter section of catwalk?
That is. Let's be honest.
That's next gen.
It is, isn't it? Oh my god!
You can push some pretty decent poly counts these days, but
that's
a bit much.
That's going a little bit far. That is crazy. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Do you know what? This will be nice with RayFire. Just shoot that with RayFire and see it explode into a billion polygons.
Yeah, but crumble like concrete or splinter like wood, it's
oh, hello.
I don't know that it's good for metal.
What's happened there? What's happened there? We're frozen. Oh, now we're in. Okay. Okay. There we go. That was odd. It's about 20 minutes for it to, maybe because it's rendering 10 billion polygons in the scene. So let's have a look.
Yes, it only just started for me now because of the stream lag.
Lag. So I'm looking at near 600,000 to 1 million tries, 3 million verts in the scene at one point. And I was viewing. Good FPS
for VR, says Yolan. Is that standalone though?
Hang on, what's he saying? I can't see the chat now. Got to put the chat in another window. What's he saying? VR recommended.
He's saying 200k verts recommended for VR.
Really?
But I'm guessing that's for like the Quest, where it's actually running off the device itself.
Yeah, standalone. Yeah, I wouldn't make anything for standalone. Look at this. I know I sent this as a bug report. I don't know if Josh is still doing stuff. I'm sent or if he's got his own support now on MK4. I sent this email off. Look at that. And there's no... Do you know... What does that look like to you?
Looks like two separate objects sitting on top of each other.
That's what I thought, but it's not.
Double up for faces in the mesh.
It must be, isn't it?
That was some weird shadow thing. But
I've already done the lighting.
Yeah.
What have I done?
Oh, it could be a D.
Yeah, Holistic 3D's website was under renovation. It's learn.holistic3d to get to their Learn portal. I don't have the wrong website, Sengoku. I didn't say it was the Learn. I said that's her website. Thank you very much. Well, it's very pretty though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. At 1 billion verts per object, it's going to be pretty then, isn't it?
It's got nice Titanfall vibes, and then
shout out to Chris and the NeoFPS Discord crew.
Cheers, Bourbon.
Let me paste a link in chat for the NeoFPS Discord crew, the NeoFPS Discord massive. Right. Do you know what? I've got to my 100 capped of Discord servers that I can join, and it's very frustrating.
You're gonna have to start blocking people.
Hang on, copy. All right, I've copied. There you go. There's the Discord for NeoFPS. You know, there you go. I don't do that for everyone. I don't do that for everyone.
Oh, no. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's very special, that is. Wow. So this currently down to 30 euros on the sale. And I would say knock it down to the lowest.
Welcome all the people to the server.
There you go. Knock it down to the lowest LOD if you are going to be using this. And he pretty much he has very aggressive lodding. If I pause it a second and grab an object, let's grab something like this. Oh, this one's quite nice. Where's something that's very heavy? There you go. Look at that. That's how close you are when it takes you out to the next LOD. And let's be honest, you can't see much difference to be fair.
Mm-mm.
And I saw another one where the LOD basically was like that. It was as soon as you fart, you're in the next LOD. It was bizarre, really. But again,
I mean, you are looking at it in a small section of your screen. It's a bit different when it's fully full screen.
I mean, this is pretty big now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I know you like it the bigger the better. So
that's me.
Look, and it's got nice windows. So I got this by one. I was thinking, you know what, this might work well with my cyberpunky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I can't even fit in that hole. But the other nice thing is I could just throw NeoFPS in here and just run around and it's a level.
I was going to say, shoddy FPS controller messing with you there.
I know this is really bad, isn't it? But can I use NeoFPS for VR?
Bits of it'd work, but it's not designed for it.
What would you have to do to make it properly compatible for VR?
Mainly just setup more than scripts. The character controller would work all right. Obviously, you don't want to be doing all kinds of parkour stuff in VR without a lot of back and forth trying to make sure you're not just making everybody vom. But the actual weapon system, the health and all of that stuff, yeah, that'd be fine. Spring animation would be pretty good. You just got to remove it from your head.
What if I wanted, hypothetically, right? What if I wanted to do an anti-gravity VR? Oh, look at that nice skybox. It's one of those what do they call it? Sky elevators, space elevators, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. What if I wanted to do an anti-grav VR using NeoFPS? Because you've got anti-grav in NeoFPS.
Yeah, I've got basic anti-grav. It's like, well, you can mess with gravity. The character controller allows that. I don't have currently any specific 0G motion states in there, but that will do at some point. And I know of one person that's using the swimming states and is just tweaking them a little bit.
So you've got people you've actually got customers using an NeoFPS.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, some very cool stuff. Oh. I've only got like 2 customers, like me mum and me dad.
that one Japanese person from the single cell.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this NeoFPS. I was so alone
in China. Yeah.
I was so alone. I had nobody, and now I have NeoFPS. That's as much as I can do as my Japanese impression at night time. All right, talking about NeoFPS, let's get. Is the teacher for the complete beginners game development course create an FPS shooter from scratch here? No, Mills Post. That was 2 days ago. Messi, you mean something like Echo Arena on Oculus? What's Echo Arena?
Echo Arena is like a 0G. What there's a. You ever seen? What's it called? I've got Elder Signs in my head. Enders, Zone of the Enders, and Enders Game. That kind of sport that they play in it, the 0G football kind of game.
Ender's Game.
It's a film and a book series.
Is that the one with the little kids?
Yeah.
No, I watched about 10 minutes of that. Or maybe maybe 7 to 10 minutes of that, and I thought, my life is finite. I'll be dead soon. There's got to be better things to do than this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, fair enough.
Is it? Did I make the wrong decision, Chris? Did I?
Not necessarily. The books are all right. Yeah, the film isn't great.
I honestly thought Kilda wrote, the boobs are okay. Haven't seen the films. My eyesight's getting worse and worse. Or my deviant mind is kicking in. Well, there is a way. Well, is there a way to contact her? I have very limited resources and I have a few questions. Yes, there is, Millspots. If you go to learn.holistic3d.com or you go to the Udemy page and check out Holistic 3D. You can click on the contact button there. She is awesome. And as she said on the stream, she has worked out where to find emails if people email her now. Unlike that when she first started, she didn't realize that people were messaging her, and now she's on it like that. Did you watch the stream when Holistic 3D was on, Chris?
No, I missed that one.
You missed it, did you? You had something better to do than watch one of the best YouTubers and Unity educators on the planet invited on my stream. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive. Do you know why I forgive you?
Yeah.
Do you know why I forgive you?
About half of your streams.
I was going to say, I forgive you because 9 times out of 10 you have been in the channel.
Yeah. 9 times out of 18, I have been in the chat asking the old question.
Can you post the link, please? You can do ! Holistic 3D in chat. To the Udemy, get the Udemy link and the Holistic 3D one. You just got to stick learn dot in front of Holistic 3D. All right, so here you go. You can watch it from here, Chris. There you go. You can watch it from there. Actually, it's not on the YouTube yet. Eco 6, but it will be. It will be on the YouTube. So, NeoFPS is fucking awesome. Digital Bioburden says he likes NeoFPS. Well, said something else. So I'm going to put hang on, let me put the video on. I'm going to go full screen on that video. And then I'm going to do a proper introduction. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's all pretend this is legit. Hang on. Me. More. There you go. Right, ready? Everyone shh. We're pretending we're professional. Everybody sitting at home in front of your Google Watches, your Amazon Mirrors, your Alexas, and your microwave PCs, give a warm and messy welcome to Yondernauts Games Chris, creator of NeoFPS. Welcome back to the stream, Chris.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I had so much fun last time you were on. We just had to drag you back from the dungeon onto the show. Sit yourself down on the sofa, get yourself some Smarties. Don't say fudge or bugger because you're live.
Okay.
There you go. That's a very professional intro, isn't it?
That's very good.
And we kind of and we then slide out of that into the quality of the stream that everyone knows and loves, where we just go into chaos and find a load of bugs and being silly.
It was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen. Sengoku has given you the link in chat. Meals Pots. It's if you just look up there. It is, buddy. Right, I've got you made a little project.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent it to me. You sent me a package to install.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've
Well,
installed it.
yes, that was the latest one.
Now that's
Just
not
currently
on the
in
store
for
yet,
review.
is it?
Sorry, what's that?
It's not on the store yet, though, is it? The latest.
No, it's in for review at the moment. It's just not been.
And it's Christmas, which means I saw some other people saying that their stuff's been waiting for a few days. So I'm assuming that they'll get to you in January.
Yeah, eventually, I'm sure. Aye. More time for you to find bugs.
It isn't the messy code. Learn.holistic 3D. You posted it in chat. What do you mean it isn't? Okay. You're strange. You're all talking strange things. I'm going to ignore chat because they're being weird. So, where do I go? The packages are in. I've got NeoFPS, RayFire, and Messi's shotgun. You told me not to click it, so I didn't click it.
No, you stick it in there, but you just wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
You can use it whenever you like. It's just not before the stream, basically.
Did you make a sample that I'm supposed to load up?
I don't know, just whatever. If you go to in the menu, Tools, NeoFPS, and the NeoFPS Hub.
Should I import some art assets, like a demo scene of something?
Yeah, you're most definitely welcome to.
Would make sense.
There are demo scenes that you can look at, of course. The hub will guide you through them if you want.
Okay, so I'll go Window,
Tools,
NeoFPS, NeoFPS Hub. Thank you for the follow, Eva. Where is it?
Is it on your other monitor?
No, it's not on my other monitor. Unity's frozen. Told you would break it. Told you would break it.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I told you we would. Oh my god! I got a pop up. I did get a pop up. I got a pop up for the winter sale from Steam.
Well, on me.
That's not. Here we go. Now it's woken up. NeoFPS.
I tell you what. Let's have one more.
There we go. So, thank you for the follow, Twice the Jester. And if anyone's new to the stream, what do we do on the stream, Chris? Would you like to tell the people what goes on in the Messy Coda channel?
I haven't got a clue. What's that?
Exactly. Nobody knows. We just roll with it. Sometimes we interview amazing people like Yonder Naught Games. Sometimes we interview people like Chris here. See,
pretending to be relevant.
It's what it depends. It depends what hat Chris wants to wear if he wants to be all professional and pitching like his products. We're going on. We're going to be talking about NeoFPS and all be all like smart professional, or we could just get drunk and be silly. It's one or the other. But you know what? I get so many people telling me that NeoFPS is if not the best FPS kit on the asset store. It does deserve to have a proper pitch night, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Even without multiplayer.
Even without multiplayer. My big thing for the start of next year is AI and animation. Getting it to the point where you can actually, play a proper game with it out of the box.
Oh, see, look. Oh, see, now then. Now then.
Now then.
Now then. Jingle, jangle, jewelry. Come inside my van. Now, right, you're working on adding AI. We've had this conversation last time you were on. There's other AI stuff that you could use.
I have looked at various other AIs. I'm not happy.
So you're going to tell me?
I am not creating like something with the depth of, behavior designer or something like that. But I want there to be something in the FPS that can at least handle basic gameplay.
No, see, I understand. I understand where you're going.
Yeah.
I understand, but I personally would have loved ML API or something integration with NeoFPS, so that I could get Steamworks up and running, and publish a multiplayer game on on Steam
Mhm.
for like $100 for my Steamworks license. Do you know why?
Why? Go on.
Because
Because you
actually,
really want to make a new Ultimate Survival.
Ultimate Survival was never multiplayer. I actually got it working multiplayer. To tell you the truth, I got Ultimate Survival working multiplayer on my own one at home, and I I was like, this is gonna be a can of worms. I'm never gonna release this to anyone. I'm not gonna show anyone this because it was very bad. Because I have no idea how to do networking properly. So I want an asset off the shelf that already has it, right? And a multiplayer game doesn't need to have a load of content in because we can be really lazy. I can just flip a demo scene of an asset and allow people to run around and shoot themselves, and I can call it a game and sell it for $5 on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That's my agenda.
Yeah, agenda for multiplayer is more involved than just capsules and things.
So you're telling me it's easier for you to do the AI next than it is to do the multiplayer next?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, because so one of the biggest aspects of the AI that I'm planning is like the animation of a character, which I need for multiplayer anyway, so that you can see the other characters running around. So the actual code itself is not going to be like the most in-depth, but it's going to be, you'll be able to fire up a level and run around and shoot and get shot.
So this is the first step.
Yeah, it is a step along the way. It's a little bit of a detour, but it's not like going in a completely different direction.
But you are aware that this is how Cybernet starts. Skynet starts, isn't it? This is Robocop meets Terminator.
I will run out of money before Cybernet, I'll tell you that.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, yes, AI is easier than networking. Behavior designer won't play well if you're working in a team environment, especially if you're using virtual. Really? I did not know that. Emerald AI is crap for good FPS.
We don't make mistakes.
Really, as
we
well?
have happy accidents.
So Emerald AI doesn't have limb-based damage. I had to do a bit of hackiness, so there is an official Emerald AI GitHub integration for NeoFPS.
Oh.
And it's not great. Like you could do something like Destiny, kind of cartoony characters and whatnot, but you couldn't really do good close-up humanoid with limb-based damage and things without a lot of work.
What about Elliot AI? Did you watch the stream when Elliot AI was on? And Twice the Jester, thank you for the sub. Twice the Jester, it's very generous of you. Don't forget to link your Discord in your Twitch in chat so you can get access to all the downloads from the Discord. ! Discord in chat. Sorry, Chris. I had to do the,
you gotta stick your disclaimers in there.
You gotta do it, mate. Elliot AI, very, very nice young man, came on the stream, and he was showing how to do Hotline Miami type game using his AI system. I'd never heard of Hotline Miami at that point. And it seemed very powerful and very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried it?
I've not tried Elliot, no. I went through some of the more all-in-one, like Emerald, and then I looked at some of the higher level, more abstract ones like Behavior Designer, and you got Wizards Code did some stuff with Behavior Designer, and then went on to Node Canvas and Flow Canvas. And yeah, I didn't find anything that was that great. And what I kind of decided was that some of the really complicated things aren't the things that you'd expect. It's stuff like getting it working with save games. Because NeoFPS has like a full quick save system.
And so it even takes a screenshot, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can quick save at any point and it will load back in mid-animation, mid-effects, bullets in the air. And to get an AI to do that, I mean, Emerald, I couldn't find my way around that code. I handed that off to him, but yeah, he's busy with other things and other priorities, so I doubt that'll ever happen.
I mean,
If you look at the demo scene section in the hub there,
I was just looking at your integrations that you had on there.
Yeah.
So if I go, which one do you want me to load up?
of the demo scenes,
Yeah.
so the demo facility is kind of more complete kind of one.
Have you
And if
added
you-
any more since the last time?
No, not really. No, I've done a lot of smaller features.
I think the swimming one you didn't have in last time.
We looked at swimming.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so. That'll be the point when your computer was dying every 5 seconds.
Oh yes. Do you see how now we don't have that problem anymore because I've gone to a 2-computer system.
Nice.
I know. Well, we're going to the demo facility. If I remember, Emerald has a couple mega do everything classes.
It does, yeah. It does. It's very kind of spaghetti once you really dig into it.
Emerald started. Do you know what? Emerald started off as animal AI, and that's what I got it for, and that's what was great about it. You had 2 animals that could fall in love and make animal babies, and that was Emerald's strength, and it was limited in scope, and it was fantastic.
I can see it working really well for certain types of games, but you can see it in the samples as well. Like it's almost sampled setup for RTSs and things like that, where you're more zoomed out looking down on a bunch of different characters.
Emerald is great for quick demos and animal control. Exactly. That's what I got it, because there was two AI systems at the time that were for animals. There was another one, and the guy had medical problems and basically quit. Ice, that was it, and the other one was Emerald. And then he just wanted Emerald to become a fully fledged do everything AI system, which was a shame, because now, like you say, it's kind of lost itself a bit. Well, I've gone into the demo.
Crook spawner doesn't either. Kind of animal spawning systems.
Yeah, and then can spawn everything and out and moves on from being just about animals. Right, I'm in. Shall I do anything to? Shall I share my screen with you on Discord so you don't have the lag?
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
That might be a good idea. Let me share my screen with you. Now, if you see anything you shouldn't see, don't redeem any vouchers.
Whoa.
Okay. Right. You still there? Have I lost you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Made a little bit of wee come out then. Okay. So you went all quiet, and I was like, I've lost him, and then there you were just.
I was just trying to get Discord to behave itself.
Oh my God. You just made my heart just leap through my mouth. Oh. But I'd make you put your hand on my chest so you can feel it beating. Oh my God. Oh, all right. So you can see my screen now.
I can see your screen, yeah.
Good. What should I do?
So there are a few new things in this demo scene that weren't there in the one that we showed off last time.
I don't remember being red boxes with arrows.
They're the spawners. So you don't actually place a NeoFPS character in the scene, you place spawn points. So if you were to die, you would go through those in sequence.
Oh.
So you spawn in different
I don't want to
positions.
Die, Chris.
You might do.
That escalated quickly. I thought we were friends.
I mean, not in real life.
Oh,
Obviously.
thank God for that. Right, we've shared a wicket or two, you know. Going to come on into this.
I'm sorry,
Right.
what now?
Now What do I do then? Do I need to find the FPS controller prefab?
No, just hit play. Just hit play.
Just hit
It's all
play.
set up. It's all set up.
Okay.
Your character will spawn in.
I've clicked play. It takes 20 minutes for you
Yeah,
to
it
do
does.
anything.
Blimey. What version is this?
2019.4.16.
With its
Right.
lovely blue triangles every time.
Don't get me started. I want to just. Firearm testing. Do you know what? I never actually realised it scored me, and I was just always here just going blame. What is this? Man? Right.
Well, since the last time that you were here, we now have blue squares that fly everywhere.
How do I
And,
do it so it only has the scope when I'm holding down?
oh, that's in the settings. If you hit escape,
And if I got the
settings, input bindings. And if you scroll down to combat, there's aim toggle, up a bit, halfway. There you go. You're right on it. You gone past it. Down a bit. There you go. Boom.
what? Hang on,
Whoa.
it's all W's.
Hello. Yeah, no. That's. Oh, yay to entropy. You've broken it already.
Dun, dun, dun,
Right, I'll get the notebook out.
I'm the quickest breaker. All I had to do
really
was
are.
click
How do you
play.
do it? What the heck? Right then, input bindings are broke.
I broke it. I broke it.
Yeah, try it again.
You need a I broke it theme song. I do. Well, at the moment it's like this. I broke it. All right, so I'll put that back down to that.
Don't do W. Yeah, try that.
All right, cool. Now you used like curvy things all over the place.
Curvy things.
Curvy things.
What are these?
That you had all these curvy things that in the editor to set. Now I want to, when I've got the right mouse button down, the more I hold it, the more my arm gets shaky.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do that.
All right, how do I do that?
So if you pause and then go into the hierarchy. So we now have a stamina system.
Okay.
And you can add the stamina for aiming down sights, stamina drain for aiming down sights.
Yes, exactly.
And you can also add various different ones into the motion graph. So if you get the
That's
demo
the word I was
facility
looking
character,
for. Motion graph was the word I was looking for. Why didn't you correct me from curvy things to motion graph?
because I had no idea that's what you were trying to say.
Because that's.
I mean, I am not a mind reader.
Yes, you are. One of the massive strengths of what makes NeoFPS different to a normal, regular, off-the-shelf FPS kit is your motion graph shenanigans. Yeah. I mean, that's this is the true strength of NeoFPS.
The true strength.
The true strength. I mean, other than that, we got FPS controllers coming out of the wazoo. There's nothing special about an
You've
FPS
been learning your phrases.
Exactly, but. When you can do things to tweak it and make it more customized to your own needs, that's when you start entering the realms of the excellence, really. So, where should I go now? I'm paused.
Demo facility character, the one at the bottom.
So when I
that one, yeah.
When I unpause this, I'm going to lose my settings though, surely.
Not for what you're changing now.
Oh, is it doing it in like?
You can change it on the prefab as well, but then you
something?
Just have to restart the scene.
Is this going to go into some kind of scriptable object that gets saved?
No. Oh, yeah. So if you were to stop playing and then restart, yeah, you'd want to modify the prefab.
There you go. All right. So
do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? Permanently make it so you get tired?
Yeah. I mean.
Okay. Well, stop playing then. Stop playing.
I feel like I was in trouble then. Do you really want to do that? Do you?
Yeah, so go for in the search thing, type demo facility, and one of them will be the demo facility assault rifle.
Demo facility. Oh, well, I don't want to go to the character itself. I want to go to the assault rifle.
Yeah.
Like
that name might be wrong.
Assault
rifle? Yeah, so there's a few options there, but it will be called something like demo facility prefab. That's the one.
Demo facility for assault rifle.
So if you scroll all the way down near the bottom of these, so this is a prefab variant.
Look at that! Look at all those, and you got your little logo in and everything. See, this is what happens when somebody knows how to use the editor. Makes their scripts. And look, you've got all of these.
Recoil curves.
Curvy things. See? Curvy things, like I said earlier.
Yeah, maybe that's what you meant.
So where should I go?
Keep going and you will see the stamina drain, firearm. Oh no, firearm aim fatigue. There you go, right at the top there.
Firearm aim fatigue.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happens is you have a stamina value on your character in the stamina system, which constantly recharges. So currently, aiming down sights loses you 3 stamina per second.
Okay.
And walking loses you 3 per second, but you
Okay.
recharge at like 4 or 5. So if
Okay.
you're just aiming down sights, you don't get tired. If you're just walking, you don't get tired. But if you do both at the same time, you will get tired.
Okay, so I need to up this up to like 7?
Yeah, 10.
Okay. And now...
And then the stamina target and fall off is basically saying, so stamina is out of 100.
Okay.
Basically, it won't drain below 25 with the stamina target of 25. And stamina fall off of 25 means that 25 before that target, so once your stamina hits 50, it will start fading out the speed that you lose stamina.
All right. So how do I make it so my arms go a bit wibbly wobbly?
Just whack those down to 0, both of them.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit dangerous now, but just by
No,
aiming,
you're
I
going to be
might
exhausted.
die.
You're going to be exhausted. Okay, you can set that to 1, then you won't be exhausted.
All right.
That'll be fine.
There you go. So then both
And hit
fine,
play.
yeah?
And hit play.
But no, is it? So you what? Hang on, you're saying that it's automatically you've got it, so I go all wibbly wobbly then when I'm tired.
Yeah. So if you hold that, if you just hold still, looking at something, you'll see the slight bit of movement as you're breathing.
Yeah, there's a slight bit.
And that'll just start getting faster. You see stamina draining on the bottom left.
Oh yeah.
And there you go. Your breathing is getting higher, and your gun's moving more and more. And now you're panting.
Oh. There you go.
Yep.
Can you use NeoFPS on mobile games?
It's not set up for it at the moment. It's kind of some of the things like the motion graph are a bit heavy. The character has like full freedom to change the up direction, which means that most of the maths for movement is pretty hardcore. So I have got an optimized one for that. I was in the process of making an FPS mobile version, but it was turning into quite a big asset, and I figured at this point it's not worth it business-wise to do that. So it's at some point you can. It's not crazy hard to add touch-based controls, and performance-wise, it will run on mobile. I've had it running at 30 FPS on a Nexus 5X and 60 on a Galaxy S10 Plus. But they're relatively simple demo scenes. So in a full-scale game, your mileage may vary. You know?
So other than adding a
stamina and stuff.
I mean, for the mobile, other than adding the touch controls,
yeah,
is NeoFPS more expensive than other FPS solutions?
More expensive?
Yeah, like
there are cheap ones.
As in resources on the mobile.
Oh, sorry. Well, the scene is not optimized for mobile.
If you went blank scene, empty scenes, the only thing in there is NeoFPS.
Characters. Yeah, I would. If I was releasing mobile games, I would optimize it more than it is for mobile. There are features. There are things like different blending between your different procedural poses when you're sprinting, for example. Things that just extra maths that on mobile I just wouldn't worry about. The other big one is that I use 2 layers for physics. There's a very low detail one that's used for moving, and then the actual render meshes are used for shooting. And I would just get rid of that. I would just use the low detail for shooting as well. Yeah. Yeah, and on a game you would remap leading to a Q&E, chances are.
Yeah, at the moment everything's mapped to W.
That is quite true. I have no idea how you're managing to control this character like that, but oof.
How are you? How are we able to change my leaning so that I could do the more I hold down, the more that I lean out and I go back. So I want it holding down for a little bit of time. I'll lean a little bit. The more I hold down, the more I lean out.
I'm not 100% sure whether that's in yet. I have made that, but it was for a private contract, which I can't remember whether it's yet made the full release. You can. I would have to check, to be honest.
Because that's nice.
Mhm.
That isn't a competitor.
So,
I'm not going to say which one, because the leaning,
Okay, yeah.
they ballsed up a load of other stuff that they added in an expansion. Hit the padded target to show the damage dealt. Then you've got your own like quest kind of dialogue system in NeoFPS without needing to have a more...
Not really. I've got like a simple pop-ups that you can have, and then the tooltips down at the bottom when you're looking at things you can use.
Do we have
So
an item inspection thing? Can I inspect this item here without having picked
Well,
it
you
up?
can only pick it up. Yeah, there's no. It's not got RPG kind of level of interaction.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would, possibly somewhere down the line be an extension asset that adds features like that.
Boing, boing, boing.
So a couple of things. You might have noticed when you were crouching and things that your weapon changes pose. So it tilts different size. So there is like a procedural stance system.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing that's used for when you aim down sights. So it blends nicely in and out of them. And it's also used for the the pose aspect of the sprint animation. So the direction you're facing on, the actual bob is a separate thing. The crate on the table on the opposite side of there gives you ammo.
Well, this one? No.
On the table on the opposite side of that billboard thing.
On the
on
the table on the opposite. Oh, here. That's what opposite means.
I'm very bad at communicating locations of things in games. When I play multiplayer, like my mates get really annoyed at me because it's just like the thing and the door in the place, just back there.
Well, try being in the army, trying to give directions in other languages that you don't understand. That's
no true.
That was fun.
No. What else we got? Since the last time as well, there are hit markers. So when you actually shoot things that can take damage, it shows a little marker on your crosshair.
Oh,
red. Yeah, red for critical hits and white for just non-critical. So anything like the red barrel there will do it as well.
Is there alternate firing? Like if I wanted to do fan firing on a revolver, let's say.
Currently, you would do that by switching mode. You would, so for example, the assault rifle, if you middle mouse click, it will switch the fire mode of the weapon. It's fairly easy to add things like that. I need to pick one up again.
Oh, I don't have one, do I? I threw it down. I threw it down in disgust.
They're on the floor.
Threw it on the...
There is.
Twice the Jess says he's terrible with directions. I've experienced it firsthand. You get gassed up.
Yeah, he gets really wound up. See if you middle mouse click.
Oh.
Yeah, you can switch between them. And that system is super flexible. You can use it to change all kinds of things about the gun.
Can I tell you that's not really how assault rifles work when you're changing the mode?
Or the little wobble. Okay. Fair enough.
There isn't a middle mouse that I could just easily change it.
There is. It's just on the other side of the gun.
Do you know what? I really miss having my assault rifle.
just cradling it to bed.
Well, that's the thing. It's a big heavy thing, right? And you've got to learn like to take it apart and clean it and stuff, and it's something. I don't know. It's something weird. It's a weird feeling having it and cleaning it and stuff, and going, this is really heavy.
This is my rifle.
This
one is mine.
Exactly. And I took my godson to a shooting range. He came to visit me on a holiday once, and because he wanted to join the army, and his mum was like, "You're not joining the army. Go stay with your godfather." I was like, came to visit me. I was like, Do you want to join the army? Brilliant. Let's go down to the army base then. You can go do some shooting on the
Shoot some stuff.
Shooting some stuff.
Aye.
So-
I've got questions. Merciless Enemies asking, how often do I release new updates?
You release them like every week. You always update this kind of stuff.
It's generally 4 to 6 weeks, maybe. If I'm doing like a really big feature, it might be a tiny bit longer, but it's I try to. It's just tends to be I plan out a 2-week update and it takes 4 or 5 weeks.
Let's be honest, people in chat. I like to rib on people who don't update their assets very often. I can't keep up with Yonder Naught Games Chris and his updates for NeoFPS. So, like,
All you can keep up with is that there's not multiplayer yet.
yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go.
API.
So, if you are looking for an asset developer who gives you good support, I have to say he's not just on there. Chris is actually all right. He's a good lad. He's very vocal. He's on the Discord, and if you want, you can even buy him some cash and get some freelance stuff. And like he said, like he added some peeking round functionality for a paid gig. So if you do want something customized for your own game, you can always give him an envelope with cash and meet him in a dark alleyway, and he'll do it for you. So that's nice.
Brown fox pets the moldy bear. I understand. Yes, peeking.
I think it's good to see updates at least 3 to 4 times a year, depending on the asset. That'd be cool. You're not going to see many assets on the asset store being updated 3 to 4 times a year, mate, unfortunately.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's just a huge, long roadmap and library list. Is that a word? Is that the phrase? Of different features that I want to add to this. So I am just churning my way through them as I go. And I kind of... I had the big ones in mind to do things like the multiplayer, but actually I think this year I kind of decided to just cram in a lot of these smaller ones and get a chunk of those out of the way, partly because of motivation, partly just so I've got cool things that I can show off without like disappearing for 4 or 5 months for the multiplayer or something like that. I thought you were going to kill yourself there.
Nah, I'm being clever.
Do you want to try another demo scene?
Well, I was going to say I was just about to start playing about the motion graph, and then we got distracted. If all I had to do was change a value from the 3
I mean, do you want to switcheroo and I can stream for you and actually walk you through some things?
Oh, now you've got the more expensive Discord.
I grabbed a little Nitro.
You can upgrade to a higher res. We can share your screen. All right, cool. But are you scared that I'm going to break it if I start trying to customize the motion graph?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, you share your screen. While you do that, I'm going to go through chat to see if I've missed lots of things.
I think we've missed quite a few. Yeah.
So people trying to raffle already. Stop it. What happened with Apex AI? It was used in Fear game. That got deprecated, I think. I think the Apex AI I bought a few of those, and yeah, I was really looking forward to doing some stuff. I'll have to check to see what's available on the asset store. Is it open source now? Didn't it use goal orientated AI? Go okay.
Go.
Yeah, go. Can you use NeoFPS on mobile? We did that. Do the guns have attachments? Great question. Merciless Enemy.
Not at the moment. No. It's so it's kind of supported code-wise, but the actual process of switching them in and out isn't there. And I'm just there we go.
So would adding extensions to guns be something you would cover with the motion graph then, or is that like
not really? I'll try and show you that. I'm just trying to get my taskbar to hide so that
that's
I can
right.
actually...
You hide. I haven't shared the screen yet.
It's really not.
You say, Messi, I'm ready for you to see my screen now, and then I'll look. I'm not even looking at it in case you've got like weird stuff on there. Lovely kit. Does he work with full humanoid body? let's say you make a multiplayer game, and of course you don't want to hand to follow the map, flow around the map. Okay, yeah, he doesn't. So a full body, so you don't just have a floating arms.
So that will come alongside the AI essentially, because I'm doing the animation for that. It's the same as with the multiplayer. Once I have animations that I can mess around with that, it will be fairly soon. That aspect will.
Well, like tomorrow. That's
no,
fairly soon.
That is fairly soon. I don't like to get too specific because it always takes longer than I expect.
Q1 2021, because that's a big area you could play about with. Q1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm saying for the AI. That's my plan. Is Q1.
Okay. All right. Q1 2021. I'll hold you to it. Don't worry. I miss mine as well. Fresh Meat misses his gun as well. Fresh Meat, you're supposed to be having dinner with the family. What the hell are you doing? I used to love the SA80 or the GPMG since Camel.
Oh, good old Gimpy.
And Danville was saying how he wants to see assets updated 3 to 4 times a year. It's insane. Did you showcase the motion graph? We're going to do it now. And empty your pockets, guys. Messi needs a quick whip round for multiplayer. I do need a quick whip round for lots of things. Merciless enemy. I would love to combine Neo with the horror FPS kit. Smiley monkey face. So, I mean, there's no reason why you can't just add your own extensions onto NeoFPS, is there?
It's pretty much designed for that. It's like all of the systems that hold together. Are you looking at my screen now?
Well, am I allowed to look at it now? Because I can still see your Windows toolbar at the bottom.
You can?
I can hide that from.
It's not even showing for me.
Oh, hang on! No, I'm looking at myself. That looks very similar. But there's the other thing I was going to say to you. If you want me to, I can actually just drag it down to below the OBS line. And then they won't see it. So it's
fine. It's fine.
Okay, let me pop it out. Let me pop it out there.
So what do we have here?
Hang on, dear.
Okay.
Okay. Now there you go. You popped out. So.
Right. So let me just.
I've run out of tea.
Oh no.
Can I run into my bedroom and grab a bottle of water? While you tell everyone what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're no dead air, Chris.
All right. Okay. We'll go.
Right. I'm off.
Right. Okay. So essentially, I'll have a quick run round the parkour scene. I will just check whether I've got it set to maximize on play. I do not. Hang on, and then I will show you how this works in the motion graph, and then have a little tweak with a few things. There we go. Hey. So, parkour demo scene gives you all the kinds of things like wall running and that loveliness.
I'm back. My kids drank all the water that I left on my bedside table. The little buggers.
Okay. Hang on.
Right. Are you sure you want to quit? Oh dear.
No, I do not want to quit.
Hang on. Go to your input bindings.
Because it's easy to look at.
Go to no. Go to your input bindings. I want to see if you've got all the W's.
What? I always hit the wrong one. Input bindings. Yes. Hi.
So, Chris, what we've basically learned in this stream so far is you don't check your own work.
Not every single aspect of it, every single update. It's true. It's true. I'm terrible. It's this last couple of weeks has actually been really annoying for Entropy. There's just things that have just suddenly stopped working for no reason that I just suddenly spot. I was planning to get the update submitted like the end of last week, but just as soon as I'm ready to go, I try one thing and suddenly, why is this thing broken? I've not even touched this for weeks. And, down the rabbit hole again.
I'm starting to feel a bit guilty of all these people who are saying that I might have to go and help with groceries, and Fresh Meat's finally managed to sneak off while his mother-in-law thinks he's off smoking. Shall we do one raffle now and do one more later?
Or whilst Fresh Meat's not here.
What? Fresh Meat, are you still here? Fresh Meat, are you still here? Because he was like, I really want to buy NeoFPS tonight.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, we're going to be raffling.
Go
So
for it.
let's go for it. Freshie, don't answer. Then we can raffle. Right, let me reset. Honestly, it is. When I first checked out NeoFPS, I was like, this has got a lot of potential.
Mhm.
And as the days go on, it's growing more and more in strength,
Mhm.
and it's becoming a proper contender. It really is.
I mean,
For
at the point where it has the AI and the multiplayer, it will be unstoppable.
oh, what you see, that I mean, the question that people are asking me is like, what are the criterias of my FPS face-off?
Mhm.
Because I started, raising issues with the third-person mode on an. I'd be like, this FPS has and doesn't have a first-person mode, a third-person mode, while the other one does. And then I thought to myself, you know what?
Mhm.
Is that now shouldn't that be out of scope of the FPS face-off? But then the other question is like somebody having it in there, should it be ignored? It's a feature in the kit. So I was a bit confused with myself. Like, should I mark an asset down in the FPS face-off if it doesn't have third person, when by the pure
Oh,
nature of it, it's called FPS. It's
yeah,
not
don't do
called third person. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to mark down if it doesn't have third person. However, if it doesn't have AI, for example, and the other one does, then it would lose out in the AI score to that one. However, if it had other features that the other one doesn't, then it would gain scores based on those features it does have and the other one doesn't, or how it implements those features, or how those features work. So that way, I felt I was being a little bit more
I'll say a
fair.
couple of things. It's like a first-person asset is very kind of limited in scope if all you're interested in is the first-person.
Yeah, I mean, because Unity got their own first-person
Yeah.
controller in the standard assets. I mean,
Mhm.
somebody was asking me, am I going to include that in the FPS face-off? And saying, I really should, though, shouldn't I? It is an FPS kit at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So yeah, I suppose. But you were saying you've got parkour,
Mhm.
whereas many other FPS kits don't actually have parkour built in, and you've got save feature and quick save where many others don't, and you have to get like a third-party tool like from Pixel Crushers to have save features. So
I mean, I want it to be at the point where I don't know if it's ever going to be feature complete, but at the point where I feel like I've met my goals, I want it to be possible for people to make a top quality, like, compete with the best first-person shooter in terms of features. I mean, none of the worrying about what actually Unity can do, but in terms of, animation save games, stuff like that, I need to feel like I can do that myself. Like I can create a game with that quality.
and when you're done,
Mhm.
you've drawn a line definition of done. Are you going to try and do the same thing again in Unreal?
Doubt it. You never know. I would expect it's more likely that I'm going to do NeoFPS Pro, the DOTS version.
Ooh.
That was a bit much.
Well, you know what? Dots might be the one thing that makes Unity really compete with Unreal.
Yeah, in some respects. Performance-wise, it's definitely a big leg up. Shall I look at the motion graph?
Yes, please. I'm here now.
A quick poke at
Have any
this.
games been released with your assets yet?
No, not yet. It's not been around for that long. It's been just over a year. It's been on the store. So there are games that are very much kind of like people learning and experimenting and flipping assets, but it's at the moment there's no games that you would go right. This is some AAA quality game or anything even close to that yet. But it's getting there. And there are people doing some very cool things that they're showing me that aren't necessarily being shown on the Discord, on the NeoFPS Discord yet.
Ooh.
Which once people are more comfortable with where they're at, hopefully that will grow.
By the way, can you stop spamming !winner in chat? because you'll make people think that the raffle's finished.
Yeah.
It hasn't finished. The raffle's still got another minute to go. So !raffles in chat. And if you keep typing !winner in chat, I'll delete you from the list. Yolan. I know that's the idea, Yolan. So can you make that bigger?
What's that? This?
That window.
No, I'm afraid not. All I can do is like whoop.
Okay. Can you?
Well, we want to be able to see the inspector anyway.
Okay.
So if I was to pull this off and just see,
beg your pardon.
Just pull this off and yoink it.
Hey.
So motion graph, because I'm getting distracted. The way it works is it's an animation state machine kind of thing, but for character movement, which is fairly obvious. So each of these rectangular nodes are motion states. So you can be in any one of those at a time. And then the transitions between them are triggered on various different conditions here. And it's hierarchical as well. So you have a high level, and then as you move down into it, we move down into movement. So this is your grounded movement, your ungrounded movement. So ungrounded is falling, and then just various transitions. Say, for example, you're falling here. Well, we got conditions saying you haven't wall run for quarter of a second, you're moving a certain horizontal velocity, certain vertical, and various different collision checks and things like that, and that puts you into a wall run.
How do you learn all this stuff? It's bizarre.
It's a little like it's not simple, this, but it's far more flexible than anything else you will find. Like I can make a parkour game, or I could make a realistic military simulator in terms of movement. I could make a 0G game, swimming. You could do Subnautica. You could do just about anything with it.
This is, I mean, like you said earlier, this is the true strength of NeoFPS.
Absolutely.
This is what makes it different.
Yeah, and then on top of that, so this is the wall run motion state, which has a few different options. So, as a quick example. See how easily I can do this. Right, so if I was just to actually do a wall run now, the narrow kind of section's a good one to show this. You get a little vertical boost as you jump off and as you hit the wall, and you kind of arc on the wall.
Mm.
So it's kind of what it's doing there is it's got a gravity multiplier for when you're running up the wall, and another one for when you're running down the wall. Both of which you can set in the motion graph.
Right, we've got to announce the winner now, because everyone's protesting. And one I'm about to announce the winner is a great. I was about to say this, but Shorty's has said it first. Motion graph editor could be an asset on it in its own right.
It's going to be.
Ooh.
Essentially, what I'm going to do is it's these same animations all over again. Once I have the animations to be able to do the AI, the multiplayer, and the full body, I am going to release basically the motion graph and character controller with a machine camera for first person, a machine camera for third person, just as that, essentially. Wow. It's not going to have all of the cool weapon features and inventory and health stuff that NeoFPS has, but it will be the motion graph as it currently stands.
I think you're going to see that a huge increase in sales. People grabbing.
So. It'll be cheaper as well. I mean,
yeah. Let's announce the winner. Drum roll.
Yeah.
First winner of the night.
Come to see what's going on. Who's winning?
Did you say your cat has come to see who's winning?
She just appeared.
Because I did the drum roll for his dinner time.
Yep.
Moo. You need. Speak up in chat. Make sure you're following. Since you're following, well done for following. Click on that big juicy follow button if you're not already following in chat. Anyone? Congratulations. We've got one more copy to give away later tonight. Would the motion graph work well with multiplayer?
So that is part of the trickiness of doing it. It's almost like the animator controller, the animator graph, in that you're basically just going to be syncing end states as much as anything. This is going to get tricky. The cat has just climbed on my mouse. And she has incredibly sharp claws. So
what breed is she?
What's that?
What breed is
She
she?
is just a little domestic ginger.
Domestic ginger.
A little domestic ginger, yeah. She's your average British short hair house cat. Nice little rescue.
Well, like a British short hair is a grey, though, aren't they?
No,
you mean as in a British, just a short haired tab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Not like British short hair, as in the breed, the British short hair.
I didn't realise it was a breed.
Yeah, they look like teddy bears, and they've got
Oh, they got the really round faces.
yeah, they're the ones. And look blue.
Okay, didn't realise that. Did not realise that. Yeah.
They look a little bit like the Russian blues, but they don't have the double fur. You're learning loads about cats tonight, mate. Maymu has won, but hasn't spoken up in chat.
Yep.
So
well, hop on the Discord. Remember to tie your Twitch to your Discord account.
Oh, well, exactly.
Message Messi.
There you go. You're better at this than I am. But if Maymu doesn't speak up soon, we might have to re-roll. So we'll
peace.
Here we go, Maymu. There's Maymu spoken. Maymu, you spoke. Oh my word, Maymu's been around long enough to know the rules of linking your Discord with your Twitch.
Oh, good.
And speaking up in chat. I won it, yes, but where did you go? I went to get some soda. Well, that's in other words, Chris.
Some winner's soda.
I think Maymu went to the toilet to do a wee. Here's the true answer to that one. So, if I look, can I affect the motion graph by things I have in my inventory? Can I say, like, if my inventory is over 60 kilograms, then I'm now,
You can. That will take a tiny bit of coding, but it's possible. So, for example, the stamina system affects the motion graph. So what you have here, motion data. If we go through, for example, the wall run, then you know how I was saying you have a separate gravity multiplier when you're running up the wall and falling down it?
Exactly, yeah.
So you have here the climb gravity multiplier, currently set to 0.5, but you can set it to any of these motion data here, or you can create a new one. And those motion data, you can then override either through an API or through a separate asset. So for example, you can use a motion graph and just create an override asset. That has just dumped it somewhere. Who knows where? Probably in the root somewhere. Or will it be next to the motion graph?
Do we have a stream tomorrow? No, there is no stream tomorrow. I will spend it with my family.
Share, single player, scenes, feature demos, parkour.
Tomorrow night, I am probably going to be watching Krampus or It's a Wonderful Life.
Krampus is an interesting one.
But I love how my wife has chosen she says we can have one of two films, It's a Wonderful Life or Krampus.
It's just kind of polar opposites.
Exactly. Like, okay then.
Yeah. So yeah, the motion data, I've just created a motion graph data override asset. So you can just add that to your character controller and override the numbers for different characters. But that's also based on a simple AI, so you can create more complex things like the stamina system changes your movement speed as you get tired. I did a basic, I've partially done an old Inventory System Pro integration, which let you control your motion speed by stats and then drink potions that would speed you up and things like that, or change your jump height.
Was that before or after it became open source?
I started it before it became open source, before it was deprecated. So that's why I haven't finished it, essentially. Yes, Shorties was taken asking what multiplayer systems will the multiplayer update likely support. I was targeting ML API.
Of course you will, because you're a good boy. Now it's official.
Yeah. One of my first customers turned me on to ML API like very early on, and is a huge proponent of it. And I actually built NeoFPS as a UNet multiplayer FPS system to start off with, but it just was such a nightmare. And same thing has put me off a mirror. So I don't necessarily believe that any of the mirror solves the problems that I was specifically having. Yeah,
Irish John seems to be a big fan of Mirror, which is odd, seeing as he hated
it
Unit.
definitely has its benefits, but I was trying to do like very kind of low level, not low level, but like a multiplayer first-person shooter has some very specific needs to do with your server authority. Things like your rendering of gunshots versus the hit check on the server and the damage and rollback and all these sorts of things, which it was just a nightmare. And the high-level API in UNet was the way it was set up meant that you were constantly fighting it. It just had some really weird, idiosyncratic choices behind how it did things like syncing variables. Like it always went for the special case by default, so you had to almost rewrite the default, like the standard case every blooming time. It was a nightmare. And because they did it all through attributes rather than, classes and functions that you would just reference, it was a pain.
So have you done much with ML API yet, or you just
No, not really. No. So like I've looked into it, and had a browse of the API itself, and I like. I'm confident that it's a good choice, and then Unity seemed to think so as well these days. So the dude that put me onto it was obviously right. Hang on. Let me just quickly motion graph what we were saying. The way that we did the wall run earlier, we've probably forgotten by now because it was like hours ago. So when you connected with the wall at that point, you maintained your horizontal speed, whatever you entered the wall at, and it gave you that kind of vertical speed boost. There are different settings for that. So for example, we can have a set target speed for when you're running down the wall horizontally, and we can do things like fixed speed on the vertical. So vertical target of 0, and then full gravity multiplier we can back to 0. And you will get a very kind of Titanfall style of wall running, where you, as soon as you connect.
You play a lot more games than I do.
And you're basically locked into it then. So it's kind of much more controlled, that way of doing it. Whoop. Yeah. So that's one aspect of it. Which if I then just go and set that back to how it was, in fact, I should just be able to Control Z, which...
And just going back to what we were saying about weapon attachments, would the motion graph then be like if my weapon attachment has a weight to it? So if I've now added updated my axe, let's say. Yeah. Now I've got like a super powered heavy axe.
That is something you would need to do via the API. You would need to create your own motion data override that was a script instead of just a scriptable object. And then you can do it however you like. So you can override the movement speed and the jump height as your weight increases. I might, if I do the NeoFPG, however many other letters I can stick on their kind of extension asset, then that is the kind of thing that I will add. But it goes both ways as well. So for example, if we come out of falling, and there we go, ungrounded, and we go down to grounded, where what was I going to say? I had a very specific thing. Oh no, I don't want to go here. I want to go, it's the ledge climb. So the ledge climb pulls you out of falling when you find a valid ledge. So it's quite easy to demonstrate on the steps in the corner of this map. When the motion graph is not in your face. So here, if I run up to the top of this, then I will hang on, run it, and my character will kind of like pull themselves up once you reach the top.
Can I do it so that when I am there, it will then trigger the put my gun on my arms up and I'm pulling myself up animation?
That's exactly what I was going to say. So yes, you can. I've not got it with hand animations yet, because that just needs me to add animations that I can then trigger and test out. And I also want to make sure that when I do that, I sync them with IK so they do actually connect. But So the other benefit of the motion graph system is that each of these motion states that controls the movement, you can also add behaviors to, which do all kinds of different things. And one of them, where is it, is lock inventory selection. So here, for example, when you enter the state, you lock the selection to nothing. Or you could, yeah, so nothing is probably the best one. And then when you unlock it when you exit. So now if we actually run and do those steps again, oops, did it too fast. Come on. Yeah. So, and I would just basically add an extra one that does the hands and triggers the correct animation at that point.
And you mentioned about IK, so you've got your own IK in.
Not yet.
Okay.
But that is planned. There's one of the reasons that I want to mess with that. I might just use the animation rigging package because that does look kind of awesome. The Unity package. One of the things that I've not kind of worked out how best to do yet is to make a more flexible weapon first-person view model system, because one of the big things that I think a lot of ways do is to actually completely separate the character and the weapon, and then use IK to just sync the hands to the weapon animation. And I think that if you're going to have, for example, the weapon attachments, I think you kind of need something like that to make it flexible enough, because otherwise you're really restricting people with what they can do. You know what I mean? With what animations they can use for their weapons. Yeah.
What about vehicles?
Vehicles would be cool. No reason why you can't do that. There is a simple setup at the moment that lets you do things like cutscene cameras. So you can basically switch off the HUD, switch off the character input, and why did that not work?
So I've got. So let's say I've got now a vehicle kit like Eddie's vehicle kit or Turn the Game On's arcade controller.
Yeah.
Would I use that cinematic kind of you were just mentioning to switch between controllers then?
Have I got a prefab set up for it? I don't think I do. So essentially, there's just a couple of components that you add to things that do that switching off of the input and the HUD and things like that. So what you would do is you would add an interactive object component to the car so you can use it, and then you would just switch to car controls, switch on the car camera, and then use these things to just disable basically the NeoFPS character temporarily, and then switch it back on again once you get out of the car. It's very doable. That's not a huge issue.
Because there's no need whatsoever for NeoFPS to be developed to include car controller logic. Because there's
no. If I was going to do that, I would basically just use the Unity standard assets, and it would just purely be to demonstrate the act of getting in and out of the car.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. I wouldn't be doing vehicle physics for proper. That'd be crazy. Yeah. What have we got on here to look at? So. Yeah, motion graph is hierarchical as well. So as I was saying about the grounded and ungrounded movement, essentially the way that it works is that as you're moving around, say you're sprinting, for example, and you hit the crouch key, which sets this crouch data on the graph, then you go into the crouch dash kind of state, and then when that completes, so it's completed, then you go into crouching. So that's kind of a very simple flow. What you also get is as you move up the hierarchy, every time that the connections out of the state that you're in are evaluated, the connection out of the graph that you're in, they're also evaluated. So the connections out of the controlled, out of grounded, and out of this kind of upper level movement, all of those are checked every frame.
Do we have a performance spike with that going on though?
No, it's absolutely fine. Yeah, you can easily run at a few hundred FPS most of the time. The performance spikes that I see in things like NeoFPS are generally due to things like the Unity particle system, using the old one. Or, for example, if I haven't added things to the pooling system, then when it first adds them and creates a pool of them, you get little hiccups. But all you need to do is just pre-add your items to the pooling system, and you're sorted.
What about the actual the weapon? So the bullets of the weapon and the shells, being ejected.
Yeah, all of that is pooled. So if we were to, instead of this, what are we doing? Let's just get you out of the way. So we have a nice big inspector. If I were to go and look at one of the weapons, what's a good one? Yeah, demo facility ones, why not? So the firearm assault rifle that you were playing with earlier. So this one uses hit scan, so it doesn't fire a projectile, and that has a bullet trail, which is a pooled object. So this bullet trail here is just basically a line renderer. It's pooled, and every time you fire a shot, this spawns. So if I was to hop back over to the demo facility, show you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Be able to demo this because they'll disappear too quick. Actually, where was the assault rifle? There it is. So there's the shooter, there's the bullet trail. So we could instead go for distortion bullet trail as an alternative option. Give that a bit of a bigger size and give it a duration like 3 seconds.
Ooh.
So the bullet trail will last a lot longer. Again, this is all pooled. Oh, hang on, that's totally the wrong trail. This one is actually quite cool. It's not the one that I thought it was.
I was going to say, didn't see much of a trail there on that.
Have I just been using the inspector that's on my second monitor and you couldn't even see me doing that?
I know. I can see you and I can see you whittling things around the inspector.
So
have you got bow and arrows in yet?
No, not yet. No, that's low priority. That'll probably come after multiplayer, to be honest.
Because that's not easy to do, Chris. Because you're going to have to do the whole physics of firing the bow, the distance affecting. Oh.
Yeah, these are your fear style bullet trails that leave like a distortion effect and then fade out.
Wow.
So for your slow-mos, I should show you the slow-mos.
Yes, you should.
Let me show you slow-mos at some point soon. But the trail that I thought this was, let's go back to it, distortion. It's not that, it's the noisy line bullet trail. So what was that? 0.05.
Yeah, as I was saying, the bows and arrow stuff isn't so trivial. No. It's not trivial. No. Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is all the same system. It's just swapping out those different trails. And this one is like a combination of things. This is like a line renderer and a particle system. So it spawns particles at a set density along the line of your shot. With noise on them, so they float around, and then a line renderer that joins the dots between all of them. So it starts out straight and then just kind of.
I love that.
And you can also quite happily, where are you? Where are you, gun? Where are you hiding? We could quite happily whack that on the shotgun. And give that, again, a decent size. I mean, it gets a bit crazy, but looks cool. On that one. Boom.
Oh! Wow. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. But you can also, for example, if we wanted to look at the projectiles, like you were saying. So this is the spread hit scan shooter. Do you know what? It's time to show you your messy shotgun.
Oh,
But we can't do it in this scene. We have to do this. If we go to the hub again, demo scenes. Firing range is probably a good one. That loads that. Each of these scenes as well has a readout, a README, which is actually in the scene. Where are you at? There you are. So you can read it in here or you can read it in the hub. And it lets you do things like actually tag things in the scene.
oh wow.
And can take you to the relevant documentation too for different things, different
That
features.
is fancy.
Indeed. Yeah, I've made a fair bit of effort to get the to get that kind of early experience as you're learning with the quick starts. So the quick starts do the same thing.
Have you questioned your clients if they've actually noticed that and used it, or is it?
Oh yeah, a lot of this is quite new. A lot of this is very new actually. But I'll show you another cool one in a little bit, which is the wizards that have just gone in like today. They're not out for anyone else yet. There's some cool stuff for that. And these kind of things as well. So this kind of highlights the different assets and prefabs that the tutorial runs you through.
That's very fancy.
Quick starts were quite a quick one to actually implement. This is basically the same README that you get with HDRP and things like that in their demo scenes, but kind of extrapolated with a few extra features added. The hub itself was mainly for the managers, things like that. But we were going to look at the messy shotgun, weren't we?
Yeah. What is this messy shotgun? I wasn't allowed to look at earlier.
No, well, character.
I did behave. You told me not to play with it, and I didn't.
Yeah, good on you, good on you. But actually, what I'm going to do is I will go back to the hub, and I'll use one of these wizards. I pick up wizard, and we are going to create a firearm drop. Instant use, prefab. We're going to do the messy shotgun. Where are you? Messy shotgun. Now we are going to add it to the gun, and we are going to give it
Add it to the gun.
12 gauge. A mesh. Weapon material. Call it messy shotgun.
Because it is mine.
It is indeed. A nice pickup audio, even though I don't think you can actually hear that because it's complete that, and then where are we going to create it? Let's just create it in the group. So now we have a weapon pickup that we can just drop in the scene. There you go. It's time to throw away my crappy shotgun.
I thought it had my face on it.
Well, you say that.
Oh, it's insane. Oh my god.
It's the new pattern shooters.
And if you're close up, it makes it nice and small, and if you're further out, it makes it bigger.
It still fires from the same point.
Oh my word.
And then they'll fade out over time. We could also switch that out to the slightly less messy shotgun. Where is that? Slightly less messy shotgun.
So how do you is that like a
I'll show you in a second.
PNG or something that it's using as a stencil?
I'll show you. So this is the slightly less messy shotgun. Voila!
What?
Is your mind blown yet?
That one, yes.
I'll show you yours. Here we go. So this, instead of like the spread shooter you normally get on the shotgun, probably down at the bottom, isn't it? This is the pattern shooter. And you can edit the pattern in here. I just happen to have a texture. Oh, no, I don't have it in here. I just had a screenshot of your stream, basically, Head. And you just place the individual shot points there. And it's a -1 to 1 grid. I should probably update that to say -1.
That feature alone is worth buying the asset for. That was awesome. That was fun. Unexpected. Perfect.
Aye. Yeah, and then so that basically gives you a set pattern, because you get a lot of games like, you know, Apex Legends has the EVA 8 shotgun that's a figure of 8 that the spread's in, or loads of games do that kind of thing. The less messy shotgun, the way this one works is this actually has a bunch of those pattern shooters. And for the people who were asking about weapon attachments, this is kind of how this works. So currently you have a thing called the weapon mode switcher. It's the same way that the full auto burst fire and things like that on the assault rifle works. And essentially what happens is when you switch modes with the middle mouse button, it cycles through those shooters.
Oh, were you shooting and then doing middle mouse?
No, all that I did was I just tied the function call switch modes to an event on the gun.
Oh, so every time it fires, it switches the mode.
You did it whenever you fired, it just cycled to the next firing mode. Essentially, whenever you enable a module on the gun, so if we actually look at the firearm component itself, and you look at the shooters, it's got all of these different shooters on it. Only one of them can be active at any one time. So as soon as you enable one, it disables the other. So the weapon attachments work, or would work, by essentially just enabling a different module. And they don't necessarily need to be on the same object. They can be child objects. So if you, for example, had a model of a scope, then you could quite happily stick the aimer module, the relevant aimer module, onto that, and then have another one, just swap the actual objects around, and it would change the way that your aiming behaves. Yeah. What I don't have to make it work is essentially just a UI and the selection of art assets, which I'm partially there.
That's crazy, mate.
But if we were to, let's go back to the hub, I guess. Hub is good.
Wizards. We just thought.
The only wizards, yep. So if we look again at the firearm assault rifle, I'll give you another example of this. So what we have on, let's not do it on the assault rifle actually, because that already has multiple modes. Let's do it on the sniper rifle. So here we have the sniper rifle itself and lovely ginormous audio thingies. Go away, audio source. Oh, it's not going away. Okay, I'll do. So the aimer module there is lined up to point down the scope and switch to a scoped aimer, this one here. What we could also do is, if we go to the aimer section on the firearm, we can add weapon move aimer. It says it's got too many because 2 are active at the same time, so we just set this one to not start active. And then what you do in here is you have a transform, which is your aim point. So anybody know if there's a way to not move 10 million miles an hour when you try to move the camera? It's
always push F when you're on there, so that it focuses on there, and then
that's my focusing on that one point.
There you go.
Come on. Right, so if
somebody made an asset for that on the asset store.
Yeah.
They're
in your Discord, I believe. So what we could do here, give that a nice angle, like 45 degrees. And go back to the sniper rifle again. And basically drop that aimer onto here, and it will set our position and rotation offsets. Everything else is fine. And then we add one of those mode switches. And we just go 2 modes, scoped and canted. This weapon move aimer down here.
Good job. I didn't get a notification on the thing. Why is that? Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the Messy family. Make sure your Discord and your Twitch are linked so that when you're on the Discord, you get access to all of the super secret, special secret, super secret stuff.
Super secret, super special.
Yes. Not just
Right.
not just secret or special, super secret.
No, not even close to just being.
Did you watch my son's YouTube video, exclamation mark YouTube in chat, where he reviewed the dinosaur assets?
No, I've not yet.
Well, he was walking around the house afterwards. He said to his mummy, "I'm a YouTuber now." He goes, "I'm so happy. I'm a YouTuber now, mummy."
Just like Daddy.
No, just like Jelly and all the other ones that he watches. And he goes, "Don't I have my own logo?" I said, "Well, you need to go and draw your own logo. And why don't you draw a logo for Mummy as well?" And he goes, "That's a good idea." So he's off to draw his own little logo. All right, so Sniper, that's your cantered mode, and there's your scope mode.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You can switch between them if you want, like a zoomed in, zoomed out. I mean, with different art assets, obviously. Things like that. Quite easy
So
to do.
it's literally that easy to change it. Yeah, Luco watched the videos because my son wanted to make with that dinosaur assets. You can like just scale the dinosaurs down. They've got AI that the dinosaurs actually fighting each other and got path and flocking AI and stuff. It's really well thought out. And he goes, "Make it a baby, make it super baby." So now the catchphrase in the house is "super baby." Oh my word!
So flying baby dinosaur.
Well, do you know what? There's a dinosaur that looks like a dragon. The proper dinosaur actually looks like a dragon. Looks like a velociraptor with wings.
Okay.
I was well impressed. Could I use NeoFPS with non-humanoids then?
How do you mean?
Like, with the motion graph that you've got, as if I'm a quadruped.
Different styles of movement. If you want to get silly with your stuff to make it feel better as well, you can do things like in the easing for your aiming. You could whack this up to bounces. So now when you aim in and out, you look mechanical and robotic.
And we've got a great question from the 1%ers out there. Does NeoFPS work in Linux?
It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't. I've not tested it myself, but I actually have just got a new computer, so my old one is going to get an SSD stuck in it once I've transitioned over the Christmas break, and I'm going to stick Linux on there and just double check.
We can just make a virtual machine.
Yeah, it can do. I just, I actually just want to actually mess around with Linux properly.
Get yourself a Raspberry Pi, don't.
I mean, I'm not going to run NeoFPS on a Raspberry Pi. Are you insane?
Do you know what's annoying? Can't bloody run Unity on a Raspberry Pi because they've done whatever. I heard rumours it's because of some weird deal they did with Nintendo. That the only ARM chipset, operating system that you can run on is for Nintendo, and it won't work on a Raspberry Pi. I've had to go and try to run it on a like Android operating system running on a Raspberry Pi rather than the Linux one, and I've had to use a Windows emulator and a Windows build on a Raspberry Pi to try and get a Unity build working. So it's ridiculous. They've completely missed out.
Sounds like it.
Because I thought, it runs Linux and that you could run anything on a Raspberry Pi then because it's Linux. But nope. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah, I've not used Linux really since university, which I liked it briefly, but I was a little bit put off against it because it was such a nightmare there. They spent an absolute fortune on these like dual Xeon crazy workstations, and they were the slowest things you'd ever used. And all the software on them was like 15 years out of date.
That's a problem. You can get decent stuff on Linux. You just need to sort it out yourself, really. What about WebGL? Because everyone asked me that question. Will it work in WebGL?
No, it used to, but you can't do post-processing and stuff like that well with it. There's all kinds of issues. WebGL doesn't let you do unsafe code, which is where you actually do pointer arithmetic, which is what thing that I need for the safe system. And there's a couple of other issues. WebGL is quite restrictive. So I don't like being restricted. So goodbye, WebGL, unfortunately.
But we can build for Android, and we can build for Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's weird that like Android and iPhone, you can have features that you can't have in WebGL. Why is this not? Oh, of course. Hang on. Where's my shit? This needs.
Pixel Shenanigans, thank you for the exclamation mark. NeoFPS.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, young man. There's a wonderful link you've just pushed there in chat by using that command. And we've also been playing with something else, haven't we? Well, you have. When I say we, it's the Royal
I have, yeah.
Now, do I have an exclamation mark RayFire? Somebody give me an exclamation mark RayFire in chat. I'm not sure if I even made a command yet. I can't hear any audio.
Oh, I've switched it off.
Oh, okay, good. I thought I was going mental. Okay, I don't have a command RayFire. That's odd.
Can you hear that?
No, not getting any audio coming through.
Ricochet fun times.
Hang on, properties. Yeti stereo.
See?
If I go to open.
180
Manage sound devices. Advanced app. Okay.
Let's see if we can fire. There you go.
Oh, because you're sharing on Discord, you have to actually enable sound.
How do I do that? I couldn't actually see any options to do that.
Yeah, it's when you're sharing. You say if you want to share the sound as well.
I don't see any way to do it.
While you're doing that,
the way.
Make a command. While you do that, I should make a command for RayFire.
There you go. You're for some crazy ricochet action. So also added ricochet and penetration based shooting as well. You can penetrate surfaces.
Hang on. So what? You can shoot through.
Shoot through surfaces. Yeah.
Go on then.
And here is a ricochet, and every ricochet lets you specify how many shots you can split a bullet into when it ricochets. So just to take the nick. There you go.
Oh.
One bullet ricocheting into 500 bullets.
Oh! Dear.
Yeah, it's quite easy to do that.
That was a bad decision to take there, wasn't it?
If you want to
what
know
about can you make it so like some surfaces cause more ricochets than others?
Yes. So not in this shooter. So what we've got, that one is a bit crazy. Let me just say what. So it's the ricochet hit scan ammo effect. There's a projectile-based one as well. So this one lets you say, when you first hit, you do a bullet ammo effect. When you ricochet, you do a different ammo effect, blah, blah, blah. Split, and then treat it as otherwise. We can remove that and add penetrating effect. Just set that one up.
Oh, Shorty says you have to share the application, not the screen, but Unity causes that weird issue.
It's really bad for that.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Whack that over. So this one is like a basic penetrating on. So it's the same. It's just based on thickness. So actually, I haven't set it up. I haven't actually attached it.
Hello. Is that doing anything?
No, it's not doing anything.
Is that making a change? RayFire, by the way, normally $151, currently at a 40% off, down to 151 euros, 40% off down to 91 euros. Very expensive, but I've not seen many things do what it does. Did you enjoy using it?
I have only used it very, very briefly.
You used it for the purpose of this stream.
Yes, we will have a poke around with it in a bit. So yeah, because I wasn't sure how to fill a couple of hours. I thought,
I told you, a couple of hours go by within a blink of an eye.
doesn't it?
They do.
So, well, why not just do something like mess around with a live integration of RayFire? And you were like, okay, well, I'll add an extra 2 hours on. And then I actually grabbed RayFire and got it installed and actually dropped the NeoFPS character in the scene, and it all just worked. So no integration needed. Now that's not entirely true. There are aspects that it doesn't just work based on physics. You do need to do other things as well. But it's what I've seen is incredibly powerful. And do you ever get that thing where you're looking at something complicated and you're starting to learn it, and each step of the way you're going, okay, well, that's cool, but it would be really nice if it would just be able to do this, that, or the other. And they're always just one step ahead of you. Yes. And the next thing you reach is just that feature perfectly put together. That's kind of what it was like. So I have spent, I don't know, 4 hours looking at tutorials and poking around. It looks good. It looks very good.
Talking about integrations, most of the time we asks, what assets does NeoFPS integrate well with?
The official integration list is currently not huge.
It's in there. We had a brief look at it earlier.
Yes.
Emerald AI, as everyone's happy with. Highlight Plus is really nice.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I've got basically a setup so that you can, whenever you look at interactive objects, it uses the Highlight Plus shader. And then Compass Nav Pro gives you compass up top and nav waypoints and check marks, and also fog of war, and tied that into the save system as well, so you can save the fog of war.
Oh, nice.
State of all the different markers. So I'm not as big of a fan of that one. Do
you know what? Now you can add RayFire in your officials integrations list.
Yeah, I will do. I will do. And I will be adding more integration soon. I've got a big long list to get through. It's just finding the time to do it.
Talking about RayFire, Yolan's just rubbing it in, knowing that you don't have a VR headset. Says RayFire is a lot of fun. Even playing around with the demos, it's even more fun in VR though.
I can imagine having it all collapse on top of your head. Yeah, that'd be good. I've got to admit that I did in that first demo scene when I ran it and I shot the building and it all collapsed, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I got this massive frame hitch. I was thinking, oh, that's just ruined. Like, performance is terrible. But no, it turned out that was NeoFPS. I hadn't stuck the pooling system in the scene, so when you first fire a shot, it sets up all of the pooling. When you first do something that requires a pooled object, it sets up the pooling, which has a little frame hitch. If you just have it in the scene to start with, you're all good.
So it was actually your fault?
Yeah, it was. It's really sick. Yeah, but so integrations for NeoFPS, NeoFPS is specifically set up to be super modular. Like everything, like the input system is just calling things on the characters. Nothing in the characters understands the input system. It's one way. I've tried to make that kind of separation of concerns wherever possible. And I use interfaces a lot, so you're not tied to a specific base class and things like that. So if you can do a bit of scripting, you can do a lot of integration. You're not tied to the inventory system. You're not tied to the input. You're not tied to the health system or anything like that.
Awesome. Shorty's saying, I'm guessing the Highlight Plus integration could possibly just be slightly tweaked to work with any highlighting asset, such as Easy Performance Outline.
Yeah, dead easy. In fact, I've also added, there's a bunch of new shaders that I added recently for a few different things. Where are we?
We're talking about the built-in render pipeline, because most of those enemies asking what pipelines does NeoFPS work with.
So the shaders that it comes with in the demo scenes are all standard, but there's no real reason why you couldn't use it with HDRP or URP. The only slight issue is that at some point I will be tying into post-processing. So I need to work out how to do that in a SRP agnostic way.
Oh, good luck.
I do want to do. I'm not just going to stick with standard pipeline forevermore. But for example, here we have, where are you? Highlight. There is an interactive highlight shader that I've added, which is much simpler than Highlight Plus. Well, whenever you look at an interactive object, you can use this instead of those kind of corner markers that I have.
Oh, nice.
And this is an Amplify. All of these shaders are Amplify shader editor.
Oh,
So
in
if you
which
wanna-
case you could just load up. If anyone's got Amplify Shader at home and NeoFPS, you watch the stream that I did with Amplify. And he shows you how easy it was that you just load up this, the built-in one, and go, all right, save it as HDRP, and it will do it for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how easy it is with things like the heat haze, like those bullet effects, but it's overall it's very doable. What was I going to show you?
We were doing ricocheting and trying to shoot through objects.
Hang on, let me just show you one thing with that penetration, because why not? So when you penetrate a surface, you can set the scatter angle, so it can spread, so it won't be dead in line. Another thing that you can do.
You're not going to kill yourself again, are you?
Quite possibly. I mean, it happens every now and then.
Don't shoot your firearm while you're standing inside a container.
I feel like that is a life lesson. Okay?
No.
Let's go for a mid-size explosion,
Oh my
because
word.
that's safer, obviously. So here we go. You can also specify different effects for the initial hit and the penetrating hit.
Oh wow. Do you know what you need to do? You need to put on the that trail effect that you had a minute ago, and see it go through the object with the trail on.
You can do that. Hang on.
Is it possible to have a wall bang effect in NeoFPS or collateral damage?
Wall bang effect in NeoFPS or collateral effect. Wall bang as in what? Just shooting through walls. I don't really know wall bang. I've heard the phrase, and I've seen videos of people just like, spawning in Counter-Strike and just shooting the wall and winning the game. But I'm not entirely sure if
They
that.
shoot the wall and win the game.
It has penetration physics, so if you shoot.
Oh, people are hiding behind the wall and then just shoot the wall.
So if you know where players spawn, you just bang, or where they congregate in corridors and things like that. Shoot through a wall and it would hit an object on the other side. Yeah, that's you can totally do that.
I mean, that's what you're just doing now, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's whack you up to 5 seconds, and then go for this hit scan.
1.6 wall bang.
Oh, Counter-Strike. I'm guessing Counter-Strike 1.6.
Wall bang.
Because you look at a wall and go bang.
Sounds like a good name for a song. Oh,
There you
wow.
We could do things like we can whack the scatter way up.
Does it come with many types of interactive objects?
So the interactive object is just a component that has events on it, basically. So you can tie it to all kinds of different things.
Oh
Scatter.
wow, that scatter's going crazy, isn't it?
Woo! Just destroyed. Yeah, hang on. I'll show you an interactive object in a little bit. No, don't Google wall banging.
No, I'm not going to Google wall bang.
So that's the standard penetrating one. There's also a projectile-based one. So part of the way this works.
I like the actor Mark Wallbang.
Part of the way this works is that this goes off distance. You've got a maximum total distance that projectile can travel. that the hit scan can travel. And in the projectile-based one, it's based on speed. So, for example, if you're penetrating a 0.2 deep wall, or like that's the maximum depth you can penetrate, and you hit a wall that's 0.1, then the bullet will exit with half the speed. So, of course, it will arc to the ground and stuff like that. And there are these, so the bullet ammo effect, which handles like dealing damage and stuff like that. There is a version of that which does fall off based on your speed or the distance traveled for the bullet. Lets you have randomized damage, that kind of stuff.
I like the way you have everything in its own little components.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the that modularity to let you integrate it with all these different things. But what we also have as well, because you were asking earlier, just quickly. Let me click. Oh, thank you, Visual Studio.
Quickly, everyone pause the stream and write down all of the code.
Yeah, quickly, pause. Go away, components. What we also have is, what's it called? Surface ammo effect? Surface bullet physics ammo effect. So we could do, you would do an advanced bullet effect, you have, like I was saying, all of the speed-based damage fall off and whatnot. And then we have this thing called surface physics.
Oh.
Wants to right-click everywhere is full, I click in an empty space.
Somebody showed me the other day the trick you're supposed to do for that, and I forgot what it was.
That was useful.
I know. It's really annoying.
Surface bullet physics info. So this goes through all the different surface types and set can you penetrate it, penetration depth, maximum angle that you can penetrate at, maximum deflection. So that's essentially the scatter, and then the ricochet as well. So yeah, so the ricochet speed, so you have to be going below a cinnamon or above cinnamon. Yeah, stuff like that.
Oh, are there projectile bullets in NeoFPS?
What's that? Projectile? Yes, there are. It's the same thing that's used by the grenade launcher, just scaled down in size. And the grenade launcher uses the same bullet effect. So essentially, let me actually grab one. So this is projectile based. And you would use exactly the same thing with that. You just swap the ammo effect so it does bullet damage instead of spawning an explosion when it hits. Yeah, and you would just faster, like so move it at, I don't know, 650, 800 meters a second and smaller. Jobs are good. Yeah, projectile bullets are kind of better for some of those kind of penetration and ricochet.
We can make a beanbag gun.
Yeah, good.
Wizard Don't Code has finally woken up. Is everyone sold yet, or do I have to tell you how awesome it is?
What else is there? Hang on, let me just look at my big long list of all of these tiny. Oh, there's a feature you need to see. That is, I've lost.
I don't even want to make an FPS, and I want this.
Thank you, Facebiter. I love chat names.
Exclamation mark Smarties in chat. Oh, by the way, Wizards Don't Code.
You've got them.
That's a bag of Smarties, mate.
Mm.
That's a bag of Smarties. I made a gun that fired Smarties.
Mm.
I want Smarties.
Yes.
So what are you showing us now? Because you just remembered something and got yourself all excited.
I most definitely did. I am going to show you the overheat system.
Because we were playing the Mech Warrior, weren't we? On the stream the other day.
Right.
Ruins.kinematicsoup.com. Everyone in the stream. Is that one of the streams you missed?
Yeah, multiplayer.
The web-based multiplayer Mech Warrior shooty bang bang.
Mm-hmm.
And that had overheating guns and stuff, and it also had destroying environments as well. Maybe they use RayFire. Too bad it's not M&M. Sundray. Even my wife agrees with me that M&Ms are far inferior to the Smarties because inherently you've got American chocolate, which is more like fudge.
Where's my gun barrel?
It's all about the quantities of milk to cocoa ratio. I think.
Really?
Yeah. I did a chocolate making course. Work took us to one of these team building resorts. So we had to go stay in a hotel and up in the mountains, do a team building. So it was making fancy chocolate. We became chocolatiers.
Nice.
Fancy chocolatier.
Yeah, that's a good thing to learn, I reckon.
It was, and I got to take them home. My wife was like, "Oh, these are right, aren't they?" And I was like, "Yeah," because you didn't buy. They didn't give you any like ready-made ones that you could buy. It's like, no, you take home what you make. Oh,
You put the effort in.
yeah. She was like, "Well, you can enjoy those with a nice cup of tea later, then can't you?" It's about.
I'm suddenly not as sold on the idea.
Yeah, sure. It was probably the loose fingernail that she had in one of her that kind of put her off on there.
To show this off, I'm just going to remove the ammo from here and add in an infinite ammo module.
Oh, infinite ammo.
Reload. Give that bullet effect. And in the reloader, wherever that one's gone, it's in here somewhere. Hello, reloader, there you are. I'll whack the magazine size up. Because why not?
Does it support ammos as in loading the bullets into the clips?
Not in that kind of, it doesn't have that complex an inventory system at the moment. It does support multiple animations, so you can have a separate animation for when you've got no bullets in the gun. So when there's nothing in the chamber. You can do like an extra little chamber around animation at the end of it. But I don't have the animation set up for that at the moment. I should probably set that to be faster.
So what are you?
I am just trying to get this to heat up.
Should we not be seeing a UI heat bar?
Hey, you're seeing a UI hit bar, aren't you? It's right there, bottom right. Just
yeah. Sorry, I didn't notice it. I do apologise.
And then as we do that, and then you see the gun barrel actually glow, and the haze above the gun barrel.
I was honestly expecting that heat bar to be red, changing colour to the bar doing red as well. I love how you got the muzzle getting hot.
Yeah.
So can you do it so when it gets too hot too often, then it actually jams and breaks?
Yeah, so once it says overheat, once it reaches the end there, you can't fire until it's cooled past the orange line.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you got overheat, say 4 times, and the person keeps on trying to fire, then it would jam.
It's not built in, but you could do that. I mean, it's the same as all of these things. It's completely its own system. So that overheat module there.
I could have an event in there, could I? So every time it gets to overheat, it does a +1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And another module is listening to it and waiting for an event to be fired to say it's now jammed.
Absolutely. You could inherit from that and just do what you like with it.
Lovely. I like that. A gradient for the heat bar would be nice. That's right. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
I mean, the thing with the UIs is that they are all of the HUD you can replace as you want. It's all kind of base classes, and it's watches, so it's all one way. There's nothing in the gun or the overheat system that knows any specific HUD class exists. Which basically watches for a character to appear, and then checks its inventory, checks what weapon is selected, watches that selection, and attaches to whatever features it needs. And if the feature isn't there, so for example, if we're looking in the game here, you've got all of these different HUD elements. So we've got adrenaline, oxygen, stamina, helmet and armor, shields. If the character doesn't have those attached, that HUD element just vanishes. Just goes away.
Lovely. I like that. I like that a lot, Mr. Grimsdale. That is lovely. Like we said before, you might not have AI in multiplayer yet, but you've got other things that other people don't.
Yeah, I've got a lot of these kind of smaller features, which, yeah, once the AI and stuff comes, it's all just going to like slot into place. Is the plan. One thing I would like to quickly show, and I hope is
Wizards feature made in honor of Wizards Don't Code?
he would like to think so, I'm sure. And I will raise a glass to him every time I create something in Wizard, and other times as well, I'm sure. And yeah, so the way that all of these wizards work is that they're scriptable objects basically, and you can save out templates. So we've got a few different ones here. For example, a sci-fi guy. And as you go through, it's just step by step. Some of them are a bit complex, but it kind of leads you through it. One of the things that has been really bugging me for a long, long time is, you can see it on these weapons actually. If we look at the shooter, where's the shooter? Where did the shooter go? Oh, yeah, it's the pattern hit scan one, isn't it? Yeah, so the tracer prototype is a prefab with component type pulled objects. And if I go to look for it, there's nothing. It's right there. It's in the project. We know it's there. It's just the object field in Unity is garbage.
No, I love that when you can't actually find what you're looking for looking at.
Yeah, wonderful. For all of these wizards, I've written basically replacement for the object fields.
Oh.
And a few different versions as well. So what we have, for example, here, audio data is fine. Like the Unity one can find assets. It can find scriptable objects. But there's actually none in here. Go for the firearm. So view model. If I was to grab the assault rifle view model, then this next one is a child object browser. So this looks inside the object that's selected above, and only lets select things from out of there.
That is crazy.
I also have versions that do so. That view model one there, that looks through the project list, but that only shows basically FBX's models. It doesn't show, so it's every prefab, but of the type of model. So it is game object as a root, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the filters. And the other one is you can do things like you can have a property, I don't know, type transform, for example.
You could sell that as an editor extension in itself.
I could do. I
would like that.
I'm trying to get it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that working as an attribute that I can just stick on things. The other super useful one, which is great for the firearms, is, so for example, the tracer prototype there, the type is pooled object. Now there are loads of different pooled object prefabs in the scene, but the object field, the new object field thing that I've done, lets you filter by multiple types. So it will say the type of the property is pooled object, but it needs to have the eye hit scan tracer interface on it as well. And then it will only list those ones. So when you actually go and you say, boom, in the list there will only be those ones.
So chat's also agreeing that your browser should be a separate asset as well.
Yeah, I can just stick it on for $5.
The code is equally lovely, so extending is easy. Looks really well designed. It is really well designed. I mean, anyone who ever does anything from the inside the Unity editor always gets me tipping my hat to them, because it's a nightmare.
I've been in months writing these wizards.
They do not make it easy to find out how to do stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wizards themselves have been interesting, I've got to admit. If I was to reset this one and go advanced assault rifle as a template, then it's got all of these different things. So this is the root. It lets you choose what inventory system. Do you use sprinting? So I've got like checklists, so you can say which one of those you want. For example, no sprinting, procedural, keyframed. Do you want the fatigue system? Do you want the overheat system? So for example, Glow renderer, yeah, we'll pick the specific one within the weapon mesh.
Wizard's not live yet, though, is it? Just it's being pushed. It's waiting for Unity to.
Yes,
to do
it's waiting for Unity to say yes, okay, and then as soon as it is, yeah. And I've tried wherever I can to make sure that the only choices you can make are correct choices. So, for example, what are we talking?
I try that with my kids as well. Mr. Squarepeg, hello, Mr. Squarepeg.
So is that gonna pick one? I found a book.
This system is huge. It is huge, Luca. That is what she said. It is massive. But also you can do so much with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a new one from scratch, actually. So yeah, here, this the view model there. It's starred because you need to set that before you can carry on. So I can't actually continue with anything. And as you go through it, everything is like that. So basically, you should reach a point where you're kind of led down the path to reach what you want. For example, the Firearm Wizard at the moment doesn't have something to generate the animator controller graph, but I do have a separate wizard that's almost done for that. What it does let you do, though, is if you happen to assign one within the root step and say, yes, I've got an animator controller already, then you could choose the different parameters on it that you want the modules on the firearm to actually call. So this is actually the parameters that are on the animator controller that I've got selected, which is the assault rifle one. And as you go through it and you say, like, yeah, and you start sticking in different parameters into the different properties to go into the modules, it will say there is no bull parameter with that name.
I love these error handling. Question in chat. Does it support MLAPI or Photon? This is Swebhead. No, not yet. It will support MLAPI later, but first comes the prerequisites needed for multiplayer support, and that will be in the AI and animation update that will be coming.
Mainly the animation required for multiplayer.
So in Q1
of character bodies.
2021 Q1. We're going to try and keep poking Yundalort Games for.
Till I cry.
Like, hey, Q1's nearly finished. Yundalort Games Chris. How are you getting on? And we're like, leave me alone. It'd be like, do you watch MasterChef?
No, I don't have TV.
You don't have TV? That's how you get to do so much coding.
I've got Netflix and stuff. I just don't have, like, live telly.
Well, you can watch BBC iPlayer on Netflix, so or Amazon Prime. I watch my BBC iPlayer on my Fire Stick.
But, I mean, actually, to be honest, I don't watch that much Netflix at the moment anyway, because every time I get to the end of the day, I just go, oh, what's on to watch now? Oh, Messi Coda happens.
Exactly. But I do take responsibility for the last 12 days. We have been taking up a lot of people's time, but that's going to go back to being Fridays and Saturdays soon. So your rest of your days will be opened up again. But there's a great bit on MasterChef where they're always like, they've got like half an hour to prepare a meal or whatever, and they go, you got 60 seconds left to plate up, and the chef's always like, yeah, I know, thank you. It's not. It was like, they go, you're not going, Chris. You've got 1 day left to the end of Q1. Yeah, hello, I know.
Yeah, well, this is the bit where I get a really soggy flan, and nobody wants to buy,
Well, nobody wants soggy batter, that's for sure.
No, risky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hiko 6, connect is without the C after the R. You beautiful badger.
Yeah. So with that wizard, I just created the gun, and it spat out this beastie here, which is the full, firearm prefab. Why is that not actually showing in this? Because I'm not in the scene view.
Because you're in the scene view. Jeremy Terrier says, "Good morning from Singapore."
Good morning.
First time tuning in. First time caller. Long time listener. Hello, nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. If you don't know what we do, well, we do things. Generally, we tend to interview amazing people, much like Yonderlords Games Chris, who's making this wonderful thing called NeoFPS. Exclamation mark NeoFPS in chat. And we will be giving away a free copy of not only NeoFPS, but we will also be giving away a voucher for training on holistic 3Ds. Training with holistic 3D, who's taught over 84,000 students on Udemy on how to make code using Unity and C#, but it also has a learn.holistic3D, their own portal, and will be giving away a course thanks to previously Electronics, who won previously on the stream, and the one that they wanted, Etonics, wasn't available. So it's like, you know what? Back into the raffle pot with you, a gift back to the community. So thank you very much for that gift. And we also had a winner already, Maymoo, who needs to hit me up on the Discord, who won a copy of NeoFPS. We're giving one more copy of NeoFPS away. I wish I could give you all copies of RayFire. However, he ran out of vouchers, so he has to wait until the Unity issue refresher ones. So
you only get 12 a year.
You only get 12 a year.
Yeah. I know a lot of people want to change that, but I'm quite like the fact that when I get all of these grifters appearing going, can I have a free copy of the UFS? I just get to go, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I can't give you a free copy. They're all gone.
So I would. Oh, yeah.
I really would. Awesome. I have several of Penny's courses. Penny is amazing. We had Penny on the stream. If you missed the interview with me talking to Penny, Dr. Penny DeBill from Holistic 3D, you can catch it on the VOD section. It will be uploaded into YouTube very soon, but at the moment, it's on the VOD section. You've got your muzzle just stuck out
so what
like
I was
flower.
going to say, which is now I'm looking embarrassing. I've got it all hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like a flower that's blossomed.
Yeah, I just went through that Firearm Wizard, and just this is what it spat out. So apart from the fact that the muzzle flashes built in aren't hidden because it's not aware of them, it's a fully working modular firearm with heat system built in and all of that type of stuff.
Oh, does the NeoFPS system use the new input system from Unity?
No, but it wouldn't be hard to extend it with. I will do that at some point.
Do you know what? Forget the new input system from Unity. Could NeoFPS use Messi's ultimate input system, Messi's mum?
I'm sure it could.
If anyone hasn't checked out Messi's mum, then you should really go over to YouTube and check it out. It's MUIM, Messi's Ultimate Input Manager, and it's actually going to be released as Messi's first asset, thanks to a certain Chris who's helped me with my editor scripts. Whoever that beautiful badger is, he deserves.
It sounds like a very smart person, whoever he is.
It does sound like a very smart person. Who loves a good whippet and a Yorkshire tea. Mr. Squarepeg goes, oh, exactly, Mr. Squarepeg. Oh, indeed. Well, don't congratulate me yet. It hasn't been accepted on the store yet. But can you imagine me in that Asset Publishers Club?
Very exclusive club.
Do you get access to like the special forums
of an asset YouTuber and reviewer being an asset publisher as well?
Well, do you know what? I can imagine a load of other asset publishers would revel at the chance to review my asset and give me 1 star.
Finally, it's our turn.
It's our turn to give him 1 for.
Find the bugs, break it on stream.
Look at all those bugs. It doesn't work in Unity 2017.
Indeed.
Your wood's not very good, is it? I don't have any wood. You don't have any wood. That's how bad it is. Lad, I'm glad to see thee.
Here you go. An interesting one for you. I just used the character wizard, to knock out a character with shields.
Oh.
So if we were to get in front of one of these here turrets.
So now we've got shields.
Yeah. And you can see bottom left, that's my shields going down. And if I step away. Oh, stop shooting. Stop it. Then after a brief period, recharges.
Right, do you know what I want to see now?
Come.
John Donald's Games, Chris.
Come.
I want to see you shoot those shipping containers and have them be blown into smithereens, into little pieces.
With a little bit of RayFire.
Yeah.
Can do that. can do that. I
Right.
think I've pretty much reached the end. Oh, there is one other feature that I do kind of want to show you.
Oh, show me.
I will show you right now. Let's head on over to
I do love to see a feature or two.
parkour.
You've already
we are
shown.
going
I've
to-
already seen your parkour.
Yes, I know. But
You know,
one thing.
you're like my son. My son walks around the house going, "I need to do my parkour training," and he then does doing roly polies and jump and star jumps.
If I grab this guy, which is the parkour character, and I scroll right down to the bottom, and I can add slow-mo system.
Oh yes, you wanted to show your slow mo.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to leave a motion trail behind you?
It's not set up for that, but it's a purely visual thing. So there's I think Cronx does a motion trail asset, doesn't he?
He does.
Could be perfect for doing something like that.
Oh.
And then, so what we do is in the motion graph, for example, there's loads of different ways to do this. We could say in the crouch dash time, set time scale.
Set time scale, okay.
And we'll set that to 0.25.
0.25, okay.
So it's like a timed thing. And that is, so as soon as we come out of this.
If somebody called star jumps jumping jacks, would you know what they're talking about? Yes. I know what jumping jack is. In, I think when I was a kid in school, we called them jumping jacks.
Don't need to do that. So, yeah. Now, when we enter crouch slide, we go in slow-mo. I know we don't.
Yeah, we don't. But while you fix that, I'll go and talk to people in chat. So, so what you're saying is you can make Halo Combat Evolved, but better.
Much better.
Is Halo? I thought Halo was multiplayer.
It has got multiplayer, but it's a single-player game, primarily, I think.
Are you ever going to add split-screen multiplayer, like local multiplayer?
Maybe. It's
Wouldn't that be easier to do than networked multiplayer? Or
it's got its own issues. So actually, the guy I was saying who introduced me to ML API, he actually did make like this is within the first month or so of NeoFPS being out. He actually made a split screen shooter.
Oh wow!
It was all capsules, but he kept coming back at me every now and then. I say every now and then. It was every hour or so. Things saying, you do all of this by checking an event on your character. We can't do split screen like that. So I would adapt it to have like character numbers and whatnot on that. And eventually he reached a point where he managed to get like a wave-based zombie shooter using, I think, it wasn't Cinti assets, but it was one of those low poly kind of style of assets. And just capsules.
Oh, wow.
Very, very quickly.
And all those changes you had to roll out for him to be able to do that is in the base NeoFPS?
Essentially, yeah. So the main thing that he did was switch the input system to rewired, which allowed him to do the multi-thing.
Oh, see, if you had Messi's Ultimate Input Manager, that supports multiplayer inputs out of the box as well, doesn't it? I mean, that would work. So,
could do. Yeah. I do not know why that is not working.
It's because you're on the stream. The future of Duty NeoFPS edition. Future of Duty. Oh, like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what he's going with there. Oh, I see. Quickly raffle before fresh meat arrives. Exclamation mark raffle. Just got back home, so I'll be back shortly. Oh no. How about multi-monitor multiplayer?
Is that a thing? Multi-monitor multiplayer on. I mean,
I didn't even know that existed. Like local one PC, multiple monitors.
If Unity can render to multiple monitors, which I'm pretty sure it can, then I don't see why that would be a problem.
Can Unity render to multiple monitors?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I don't think it's like a just click job done, but I think there are ways to do it.
I've always wanted to have two outputs, like like have a full screen view game and have another window appear outside of that view, so I could have a docked, like I've got OBS up in the window and the thing down the bottom. I wanted to do that, and I hadn't found how to do it. If anyone can point me into the right direction, in the Discord, we've got a help section. Oh, turn the game on. Stephen from Turn the Game On has woken up. You just need to select the display on the camera component. Oh, do I need to make 2 different scenes then with the canvases? Because I want to have 2 different. I need to have 2 different canvases. I have 3 monitors. Currently, one monitor is just scene and game, and the other is Unity Core. Yeah, I'm talking about when I'm making the build. When I've made my build, I want to have the main game in one view, and like an extension module as another window, so that when you're playing, you can have multiple Windows interfaces for a game, like you would do on a trading platform if you were trading financial instruments like Bloomberg and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who use Bloombergs out there. Does this motion graph ship with NeoFPS or Unity asking because it doesn't look like mechanical. Exactly.
It's not
motion graph is the ultimate power behind NeoFPS. It's basically what makes NeoFPS special above other FPS kits. And rumor has it in this stream that it will be a standalone asset at one day, which means that you could use the motion graph in anything else. Motion graph is amazing.
Lets you do all kinds of crazy things like this.
Lets you do crazy things like go, oh no, where's my gravity? Where's my gravity going strange?
And everything behaves as it totally normally would. So your steps behave the same. You slide off edges. Exactly the same.
Do you know what's really weird? When you jump off and you go, ah!
Yeah, and you flip right over.
What does motion graph do? Well, you're really going to have to watch the VOD from Mr. Squarebag, because it is very powerful. Yeah. Do you know if motion FPS will be integrated with dots for ultimate? Yes, he mentioned talking about things that should be done. He dropped a hint about dots. Were you serious about dots?
I would love to. I mean, I could see myself doing it, but I could only see myself doing it if, given a few more extension assets and a bit more time and, the AI and the multiplayer, NeoFPS actually starts making money. Because right now, it's not much of a business proposition, to be honest. It's it could potentially be.
Oi, you sold 1 copy during the Chinese singles.
And yeah.
Any vehicles? No, but to be honest, I wouldn't recommend any FPS kit that started saying it had vehicles in, because you really want a proper standalone vehicle controller. And that's the nice thing, is that it was mentioning earlier, you just basically put the trigger, and when you go to the vehicle, you stop using the NeoFPS controller, and you're using the controller from the vehicle set. So something like Eddie's vehicle, or Turn the Game On's arcade controller.
Mm-hmm.
Hear that, folks? Go buy NeoFPS now. We need Chris to continue doing it. Exactly. Exclamation mark NeoFPS in chat. And also, as I mentioned earlier, he is up for private work, because he mentioned it himself. He said that the peeking round corners, additional logic, was for a paid gig. So you can have custom development done.
With the caveat that the small stuff only. The less time, the better.
Do you do it that the code then becomes it's your IP, so that you can add it into NeoFPS for everyone else to benefit from?
beforehand. It's the if it's a feature that I was already planning to add to NeoFPS, then I will generally not take the job if they want it to be private. If they won't let me put it in NeoFPS.
Mm.
So the thing, a lot of it is people wanting to support me because they're after a feature that I was going to make anyway. They just want it a bit earlier, but they're also willing to pay. So it's not necessarily like make my game.
Make my game.
Game.
What about water guns?
Water guns?
Yes.
I mean, the modular firearm system could probably do stuff like that.
You'd need to have something to handle the water squirting out of your gun.
I couldn't get the slow-mo working properly, so his camera shaking said.
Is that if you've written down on your piece of paper to
if slow-mo doesn't work,
entropy
do camera
again.
shaking.
So I like tanks, says Fresh. I don't know how the conversation got onto tanks. I'm too scared to look up, to be honest. There are very few publishers like him. We have to support them. There are very few people like Chris. So you can take that how you want, really.
Yeah. Yeah, but regarding your tanks, if you were to get something like ED's vehicle physics, then NeoFPS features everything that you would need to be able to just, relinquish control to that temporarily.
Yeah.
And take it again later. At this point.
Exactly. We have overheat. Why not faults for getting your gun wet?
At some point.
You can do that. You can.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it yourself.
Exactly. Could you just take the overheat and just instead of being overheat, you've got an event that the guns are wet. Mm-hmm. It's actually getting wet is a lot easier.
You can easily do that. So, for example, in the swimming, let me know if you just want to get onto RayFire. But for example, in the swimming demo, where are you?
You were like, oh, are we gonna? I'm not gonna be able to show enough to. You've done 3 hours, and you haven't even spoke. You barely said the word RayFire.
No, truth.
So don't worry.
Swimming motion graph has. Sorry, I'm pointing at the screen.
I foresee a lot of fun using this for Nerf-style weapons in kiddies games. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No reason why not. You can do the projectiles with Nerf-style stuff. Just make it bounce off. Do physics ones. Yeah. So it tracks when you're swimming. It just has, where is it? In the swimming state here, when you're underwater. Is it this one? Nope, it's not.
Swim underwater. There you go.
There we go. So this actually tracks the elapsed time in this state into that parameter there. So you can read that out, and it's got events when it changes. So if you wanted to just hook your gun to that, then you could quite easily just track whether you're underwater based on that.
Well, yeah, because you've got an event saying that you can't fire your gun when you're underwater. And when you're underwater, your gun's now got wet and maybe has a cooldown for when it dries.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things, like you'd add those kind of time-ups type things to any state within the motion graph. There's a bunch of different behaviors, like all the different audio ones for just playing a random noise, for example, playing a looping audio, playing something based on the surface you're standing on. There's things for camera as you're moving around, stamina system drains, inventory stuff, set your character height, all kinds of things. And then just messing with the parameters, which you can watch from outside. Yeah. RayFire.
Let's go into the other demo scene. Back into the
Which
other
one?
The other demo, the factory thing, because I want to see you smash up the shipping containers.
Okay, this might get interesting then.
Exactly. I don't do things half-assed.
Well, I don't really know how.
Let's do this. Let's do it.
So, let's grab in the environment.
Exclamation mark RayFire in chat. Exclamation mark NeoFPS in chat. Exclamation mark Google in chat.
Where are you? Oh, it's the weapons testing. That's the one.
There you go. It's a target container.
Need to do is just because I'm a sadist. Unpack my prefabs completely.
RayFPS, NeoFire. Yes. We've got some new
Yes.
assets coming out.
The mesh renderer is here, isn't it? Okay. So I am going
talk
to.
us through what you're doing.
I'm going to set up the container here as the high-res one, because as I was saying before, there's actually two. There's a low-res and a high-res physics. So one of them takes, and the other one takes the movement hits. So all I've done there is essentially split the two up. And I'm going to delete the original high-res, and now everything high-res is on the root. So it has mesh renderer, mesh filter for this container, and the mesh collider, which is there. And it is on the default layer. That should be fine. Actually, let's just get rid of that physics rough. Right, so this is the object that we actually want to mess with. Bottom there. And if I know how to do this, and I actually really don't have a clue, then we want RayFire rigid, which is what actually does the splitting, I believe. Initialization at start will actually handle the splitting up. Simulation type is how the object behaves, all the different parts of it behave. So dynamic means that as soon as the scene starts, all of the component parts will just fall apart. Or there is sleeping, which means you need to push the objects to wake them. And inactive is similar. Kinematic is something that you would animate. Done. Object type mesh is good, I think. Demolition type runtime. And then you get to set how exactly it falls apart. Bearing in mind, I might be talking complete nonsense for most of this. It's really hard to know. Because the other thing we can do is load up one of the RayFire scenes and actually just run around it and see how it's set up in there.
Yeah, but that's the easy way out.
That is the easy way out. You really put me on the spot here, aren't you? Like I said, I've spent a few hours looking at this stuff. I don't think that's relevant. I just put it on the front bar. So, demolish. What do you do? Lock it into a lot of fragments. I have no idea what any of these mean. Use shatter, that needs a shatter component attached. I do not know. You know, I actually am just going to end up going to the demo scene and looking at it. Because I'm pretty sure that this is a couple of why is that?
Oh, there you go. That's magic.
Pretty sure, anyway. Reset that. Oh, that'll errored. It's a good sign.
I like the idea of having people on to demo other people's assets. I know.
With only having had a few hours to play with it. So what I was originally going to do was actually copy over his gun script, chunks of it into a new ammo effect for NeoFPS. That was my original plan.
Go on,
then you were like, cargo containers, yay!
Go on then, do what you were going to originally do.
Ruined it for me entirely. Let's first of all hop in and RayFire.
You're still in play mode, by the way.
Oh, yay. Debris, is it debris or is it shatter? Tell me.
Debris.
Collectivity.
Let's do debris.
This one?
New idea. This is the idea. We were doing a live integration live on stream. It hadn't been done before.
True. Yeah. So I mean, I could have been better prepared. It's a valid criticism. So I am just going to set up this demo scene, stick a ground plane in it, disable the camera, and drop in a NeoFPS spawner. Where are you going to go? You're just going to go there. Now this should actually just work, but basically this will just be going off physics, or it might just collapse.
Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Woo. So part of the problem is that, oh, that is nice.
That's lovely, no?
That is very nice. I've got to admit, that is very, very nice. I'm just going to stick the scene pool handler in here to in play mode. So that hitch that I was saying when you first fire a shot, that's that thing.
And click on his object. Ah, you click play.
I did.
You did.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
It's
I
so
was going to say,
nice.
like, click on his object to not have it start to crumble immediately.
Okay, we'll do. We'll do. Just let me, take out some frustration on this thing.
Oh, is it floating?
Yeah, so that's fine. That's actually not a RayFire problem. That's because I'm totally relying on the fact that NeoFPS's ammo effect just applies a physics force to the rigid body it hits, which isn't enough to wake up the entire system here. So that is actually one of the things that I was going to look at. But yeah, let's just grab this thing first. That's it. Scene view. That would be here. Where are we talking? Activator. That looks like fun. I have no idea what that's about.
How is the performance with RayFire plugin? If Yolan's still in chat, Yolan's used it a lot. Yolan, how did you find the performance of RayFire? Wait 20 minutes for the lag.
Yes, I don't know why I'm waiting. Where is the thing in here? Collapse settings by area. We have the RayFire rigid. Initialization at start. Simulation type is inactive. So that means the gun needs to wake it up. So quite why it's starting immediately when the scene starts, I don't actually know. It shouldn't be doing that. Unless that is purely because my little ground plane actually could do with just being a tiny bit lower. It's colliding and waking it up.
I used it in VR. Yeah, in other words, it performs okay.
So I will look at his script and create one of our own. Wherever that was, scripts, components, and he has the RayFire gun here. Which I hope is okay with me showing this on screen. This is one of the demos.
He said it was fine, didn't he?
Cool. I believe so.
I did ask him. I said, "Would it be alright?" He goes, "Yeah, it's fine."
Did you?
And
I'm also using the verb
do it.
and the script creation wizard to create a new script, which is a modular firearm ammo effect. We'll call it RayFire.
This is NeoFPS custom script generator at the moment you're looking at. Can you use RayFire on characters for dismembering? Oh my word, that'd be disgusting.
I don't think so. I don't think it works on skinned meshes, but it will. From what I've seen, there is one of his demos, one of his videos has a thing where basically you can, if you say shoot an object, you can add the RayFire destruction system to the object dynamically and destroy it there and then. Whether or not you will be able to switch a character to a non-skinned mesh and then do that is I'm sure it's possible. But yeah.
Wizard Uncode performance of all of these is terrible, but you can bake the destructible version and you swap that in upon destruction. Otherwise, you have an object for every piece, which will cool performance in a decent size scene. All right. Luco saying all this stuff is amazing. Mike. Speaking of dots and the upcoming dots visual scripting on March or whenever it appears, I really wonder if all of these assets are going to be integrated with dots, especially RayFire.
I'd half expect RayFire to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, the ones that they know they're gonna take advantage of the performance.
The performance and and something that's kind of self-contained like that. The thing with something like Neo is that it's got loads of different systems that all like some of them will be a real nightmare to switch over. Some of them will be absolutely fine. But
well, that's the thing. Not everything doesn't need to support dots.
True. You can do hybrid mode, can't you?
Exactly.
I was originally just going to switch things like the ejected shells and the bullets. But I would actually at some point like to do like a full dots remake, because I also want to see what MLAPI guy 210 does with the dots networking.
Well, the dots networking is separate to the MLAPI library is for the non-dots, and then they've got the dots network.
Yeah.
But then the guy who made Mirror made his own dots.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't tried it though.
Let's look at the core script for ammo effect for NeoFPS. I'm going to go for the bullet one. Basically, going to grab all of this.
So what are you doing at the moment? You're making a new script.
I've made a new ammo effect called the RayFire ammo effect, and I've basically copy-pasted the contents of my NeoFPS bullet ammo effect into here, and I am just going to pull a few select chunks out of the RayFire gun to stick in it, which would be its impact thingies. So I'll grab this section here. I've already got damage and stuff like that. So I should just be able to chuck these straight on in. So this is the strength of the bullet on the RayFire system, the radius of the bullet, which actually I'll get rid of that because this has bullet size here. And then various settings for what type of RayFire objects to actually affect. And then if we scroll down, we've got all the different raycast type of stuff. So the actual shooting that his class does, generally, most of that gets passed here to impact hit and impact damage, which are these two functions. So if I was just to grab those.
Gilroy says, I haven't touched dots in a long time, but using jobs with burst is amazing, even when I basically did on-the-fly conversions. I've managed to avoid both dots and HRP lately. Well done. I'm going to get baked tonight. Talking about being baked. And we're going to give away a copy of NeoFPS. So if you haven't yet picked up NeoFPS and you've been excited by what you've seen on the stream tonight, then you could be a lucky winner, just like Maymu, who won a copy earlier tonight. And you know what? While he's doing this, we're going to give away a copy to one of Holistic 3D's courses on the learn.holistic3d website. So I'm going to do a raffle while all this shenanigans going on. So learn.holistic3d.com. You know what? I'm going to update because their website's under renovation. So,
What's the RayFire dev using allocating sphere overlaps?
Submit. I'm not sharing your screen anymore on the Twitch. They're looking at
Holistic
3D.
Okay, that's cool.
So if you're typing, if you're worried about showing any extra shenanigans, don't worry.
I mean, this is.
So you got a bit of time to get ready. So we do a exclamation mark raffle in channel Yoshio. Penny Holistic 3D course. Right, exclamation mark raffles in the chat if you would like to win a copy. Yep. If you already typed !raffle, pixel shenanigans, face biter, Jeremy Time, you got to do it again. What? You all started typing in !raffle. Well before a second. !Smarties in chat.
Well,
so I tell you who hadn't counted when they did it. It was Sundere, Fresh Meat, Yolan, Square Peg, Wizards, Facebiter, Jeremy, and Fun. They all did it a bit too early, so they all. And then good, you came in afterwards. Good, well done. And who else didn't? Pixel Shenanigans, did you go back in? Yeah, Pixel Shenanigans went back in. All right. So, how you getting on with your script?
I have magically somehow found another one that I might have written earlier.
Okay. So, tell me when you want me to put the screen back over.
I'm just going to test that it actually works.
Good. Okay, you test that it works. Yeah.
By closing this project,
you can pretend that you're not testing that it works, and I'm just showing off the learn.holistic3D website.
It worked. Really cool. You're crashing on.
How to win triggers people to raffle too early. Oh, you sneaky badgers. There was something from premature raffleitis. That's right, Jeremy. Is that how you roll in Singapore? That's not how we roll here. We're not premature of anything, Jeremy. No. I had a friend of mine who was raised in Singapore, went to a boarding school in Singapore, and I was like, wow, that's not often. Yeah, I was like, that is I've never heard of that before. I was at university with him, and then we met another person in the halls of residence. In our block, in the halls of 2 doors down, literally 2 bedrooms down in the halls. And she had also been at a Singapore school as well. And I was like, what? Am I the only one who never went to a boarding school in Singapore? What's going on? What's going on here then? So yeah, I didn't realise there was that many Brits until recently. We're still over there. But yeah, look. I'm 8 hours ahead of you, so that could be seen as premature. Well, you're knowing the future, like those Aussies and Kiwis that keep coming on to be interviewed.
You already know if you've won or not.
Exactly. Sengoku, what YouTube have you? I'm always scared about what Sengoku posts.
So you have just found out about ML agents.
Unity ML agents.
Before you continue and try to learn this framework, you need to know some things. ML agents is a framework that extends the Unity game engine with machine learning capabilities.
Cool.
Many of my viewers
I do
ask
have a
me
good
questions
plan
like,
for a proper AI
can
asset,
ML agents do...
Something that Wizards Don't Code got me chatting about ages back that got me quite excited. Which, I'd kind of love to do one.
By the way, that video using Unity ML agents, watch this versus this framework for you, right? November. There's a load of people who were doing great YouTube content that they could have added into the Unity Awards and not just have 3 people nominated for each of those YouTube related categories. If they just put a little bit of effort and bothered doing anything. And you know what? Do you know what's even more frustrating? I'm gonna moan now that they've even got teams, that are in charge for Unity evangelists and Unity content makers and influencers, if you want to use that word, right? There's teams that manage that, yet they still only manage to get 3 names in each category in the awards. Ridiculous. My grumble.
Well, I must admit that because I, for quite a while, was a Unity Plus subscriber. I was assigned a Unity Success Advisor. Heard about those?
Yes.
Got in touch with me like about 2-3 months after I released NeoFPS And he was like, I just thought I'd get in touch, see who you are, see what you do, see what you get up to. I went, oh, right, well, I actually developed an asset for the asset store called NeoFPS. And he just like, what? Like, sorry? It's like, didn't expect that. Okay.
Did he then go, I'm not allowed to speak to you now?
Does that mean success is coming, or or is never coming, or what? I'm a bit scared now.
Did he ever speak? Did he ever follow up with you?
No. But to be fair, I never followed up with him.
Was success advisors are scary? I'm gonna say this in the most polite way. Was the plus worth it, or was it a complete waste of your money?
I needed it for a couple of reasons. I was doing app development contracting work, which was like a kind of semi-regular thing, which I needed to be able to release apps without the splash screen. So
that is the only reason anyone ever buys it, is to get rid of the bloody splash screen. Mm-hmm. And I made an app the other day that I just made a custom splash screen, and it looked quite nice. You didn't even notice it. Right, let's announce the winner for Penny. Wizards Don't Code, you've won a voucher to get a course on Holistic 3D's website. Congratulations. You have won for teaching they picked Brackies, who is no longer doing videos, and not Jason Wyman, who is totally awesome. No sense. Exactly. Well, he was making videos in the year, so they could be like, making the year, but it honestly felt like it was a goodbye, Brackies, here's a present. You know what I mean? No. Grumbly me. Anyway, let's see you do shooty bang bang.
Shooty bang bang.
Shooty bang bang.
So I need to share screen again, do I?
Shooty bang bang. Shooty bang bang. How do you do? I'm watching it. I'm looking at the.
Are you watching it? You're watching it. I can play then, can't I? So this is with the new. I don't know how this appeared. Script. Ammo effect. The RayFire ammo effect. Which basically, so all lovely and sleeping, and as soon as you shoot it, if I actually manage to hit it.
Oh. Dun 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 dun.
It's so very nice. Oh, it's still a little bit.
Hey, there we go.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing how that little piece there can carry so much weight.
Yeah, we really need like him on the call as well to.
He's going to be in February. He's going to be coming on. He's doing some big updates to RayFire. And he wanted the big updates to be done, and then he's going to come on the stream.
Awesome.
So that's going to be awesome. Sunday Ray says Jason Wyman is a scam, but whatever. I think that's a conversation for the Discord channel. ! Discord in chat.
Yeah. So having a quick look at the script. Is anybody actually interested in scripts?
A lot of people are interested in scripts. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So essentially, what's going through here is Neo's ammo effects have this one parameter, which is the hit, which takes in the raycast that actually caused the hit, the direction the bullet came from, the distance it travelled, the speed it's going, and then a damage source. So a few of these are very useful for RayFire. So first thing I do is I show the hit effect with Neo's Surface Manager, and then most of this below is RayFire. So RayFire Rigid is its destruction, kind of central destruction class. So we grab that from the hit, and if that exists, then we do the impact damage, which is down here. So this is going through a few separate things. First of all, it's applying damage. So RayFire has its own kind of health system built into the objects. You need to deal enough damage to actually cause it to fall apart, to actually cause it to destruct the object. So it adds all of that up. So it's applying the bullet damage directly from the standard kind of Neo damage system. What's it doing? And then it's checking if it's destroyed, and then does it have fragments? Does this rigid body thing have fragments that it can split into? And essentially, I believe here, it's actually going through them individually and smashing up the separate things. So this is kind of, is this actually? So you're basically saying you're putting in the destruction, the RayFire destruction object, and you're getting out either the same object or you're getting out one of the new ones that has been created from the destruction of the original. Which then later on, so after you've done that, after you've split it and done that, you're applying this kind of extra physics layer. And this is where a lot of the fun stuff happens. So you're going through you're checking based on your bullet's radius. So it actually does a sphere check instead of just a pure point check. You are going through and you are waking up all of the rigid bodies within that certain radius of the hit. And then using RayFire's demolition clusters things. So I think connected clusters work by actually kind of not sleeping, but connecting together the individual mesh and physics mesh colliders into one kind of larger object. So you need to wake up the sections and then tell RayFire to split chunks off it, which it does in a few different ways. It can either just completely fall apart, or it can actually split into separate kind of hierarchical chunks. So you're doing that, and you're collecting all of these as you're going. So you're demolishing, you're collecting all the parts, and then you're going through these, doing an overlap sphere. So this is, again, checking the bullet hit. And where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? I'm kind of starting to get lost again. Because it is actually fairly complicated when you actually don't know.
Well, the output is, like iTastic says, RayFire plus NeoFPS is more enjoyable than some AAA games. And other people in chat saying, I agree, truth.
Mm-hmm.
Luca says, I really want to use NeoFPS grass system for an RPG game and RayFire for destroying buildings. But I don't know if that would work out. Dot's performance is a big plus.
Performance is probably your only destroying buildings with RayFire. It's like, are you talking about sparse terrain with the odd building? In which case, yeah, why not?
Or an entire massive city that is. But like Wizard don't code, if you're baking your destruction, you're going to get a performance boost. So.
I mean, even then, you are still talking about a heck of a lot of mesh colliders.
Yeah.
You're talking about concave on concave collisions, which is, it's not cheap.
Sengoku's asking, can you also shoot with RayFire things? So, can you also shoot with RayFire things so parts fall off and get a dent? I think denting mesh deformation is different.
You never know, that might be in one of his updates.
There's other assets that do mesh deform.
Oh, I would hate to actually mix and match it. If they're totally separate.
I should already be sleeping, but I can't leave the stream. Exactly, iTastic. Destroy castles' doors. I mean, destroying castles, if it was an RTS game, but an FPS destroying castles, whoa.
Granata! So I got bored of looking at scripts I didn't understand.
Exactly. Who cares? Who cares what the scripts do? But when you hit it with some explosives, it can do that.
Yeah, I mean, what the 4 hours that I have managed to actually set aside to look at RayFire has taught me is that I actually want to spend a bit more time looking at RayFire.
Exactly, and it is very powerful, and there's a lot of things we can do with it. As I say, he's going to be on the stream later on, but now, thanks to this stream, actually, we now have an official RayFire NeoFPS integration to be added in coming soon.
Yes, woo! I mean, that was terrible.
I mean, right, you're gonna polish it up, obviously, and make it a real official integration in your NeoFPS hub. But
imagine Everdeem watching this back on the VOD at some point and just going, "What the fuck was it?"
Did you just fudge? Did you just fudge on the stream?
I no, Mir did. I didn't. You know what I mean.
He's allowed to because he speaks another language.
Well, yeah, and I've just basically just said, yeah, we're going to do an integration, and it just works. It just works.
That's the strength of RayFire. It literally just worked when you chugged it in.
Yeah.
Come on, it's Christmas. Tanks need to explode things. There
is actually one of my customers that was really keen on actually creating tank movement using the motion graph.
Wow.
He actually wanted to make like a third-person tank game.
Well, that's the thing. Once you make the motion graph as a standalone asset, people are going to be doing that stuff. You're going to be integrating the motion graph with Eddie's vehicle physics and with turn the games on to arcade controller. You can do that. I mean, it's going to be a separate asset. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no reason why not.
By the moment, let's give away a copy of NeoFPS to one last lucky badger in the chat. You have to be a follower. You gotta click that follow button. And you know what? It's Christmas. If you've got Amazon Prime and you're not using your free sub, why not spend your sub here and subscribe to the channel? ! Please give me all your money. Oh, is that? Oh, there you go. The weight of it made it topple down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would take quite a lot to actually realistically model that kind of balance system, but it's good. The one thing that I've not reached yet that actually I don't understand is whether you can have progressively destroyed meshes, so destroyed in large chunks, but without actually pre-splitting into small things and just having them all jammed together, if that makes sense.
No, it didn't make any sense to me.
It really doesn't, does it not?
It's much like your direction instructions.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if we look here at the individual elements, you can see there's just lots of small chunks.
Yeah.
So even though this is actually a whole item, you have all of the individual chunks here, which to me tells me you're going to get rendering artifacts and also overdraw. It's just not ideal.
I do have RayFire. I want to blow stuff up. Exactly. If you've already got RayFire, get NeoFPS.
Shoot it. Is that still? I ain't sure. That's what I want to know. I'm not sure if that is split into
runtime mesh combiner for the debris.
Yeah, so it kind of actually does do that. You can do it at different tiers. You can destroy everything. It's got a really cool thing where it actually progressively destroys it over frames. So the first time you hit something, it starts the destruction process, and it just does a little bit each frame until it's completed, and then it all flies apart. Usually within like a fraction of a second. But it just spreads out the hit. So you're not just suddenly getting a massive performance spike.
Mimo just gifted a sub. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Once again, we didn't get any notifications in the chat. Why did we get no notifications come up? There's a tip jar. Tip jar. There's a logo. Look, there's my logo, isn't it? Web chat box. The chat box. This is. Why are we not getting?
I don't know. That's your domain.
I think I accidentally deleted it. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. How do I do the redo the alert?
We don't make mistakes.
Oh, here you go. I accidentally muted it. There you go. That's now I've got the noises coming back. Thank you so much. So for all of the subs that we missed,
we don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
That's in honor of you all. This is a test. Are you going to shoot the ground that you're standing on?
was just wondering whether I could physics it. Ooh, no. This actually needs activating manually, I guess.
I tell you what, let's have one more.
Now I heard a noise. Thank you for the follow. I love it.
Look at the actual bullet shell casings.
I know. I was going to say, I can see the bullet shells now.
That's not going to be cheap. That's not.
But you're pooling that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just the sheer number of collisions. Like, they'll be asleep now, those individual colliders. But having that many concave mesh colliders is scary to me. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's actually not a big deal.
But why wouldn't you have very small capsule colliders on those?
I do, yeah. It's these ones. It's the ground itself. The fact that they're gathering in the ridges tells you that every one of these Voronoi sections is actually a separate mesh collider with bevel.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, yeah. Yes.
It's like, it's very much, to me, it's a very much set piece rather than something you want to be building large levels out of. In my opinion.
Spasiba says infolink. Soldivostium says Mindmo in reply. I think there should be another separate motion graph asset to work with third person RPG Navico. I mean, yeah, would when you split the motion graph, would you have to do like have a motion graph FPS asset and then a separate motion graph third person asset, or would it be the single motion graph?
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not going to have all of the fancy weapon stuff or anything like that. So those are the things that you kind of need separate versions of between the two. Because things like the procedural spring animation, there are ways to get it to work. One of my customers has made a pretty decent looking third-person shooter kind of base game using it in NeoFPS. But yeah, so if it's just the camera and it's just triggering animations from within the motion graph, that's not a big deal. I just need the animations. As much as anything.
I used to be an animator many years ago.
I did as well.
Did you used to do cell animation or computer?
Oh, no, I did computer visualization and animation at university. That was my
I remember that module.
Yeah.
I started off doing cell. My dad actually made me a light box, wood glass and a light bulb. Got him the blueprint. It was in my book, my animation book of like what you need to be an animator. It was like here's the blueprints of a light box. And he goes, there you go. And I actually did my my A level as doing animation, cell animations. I would sketch them out on the paper, on the light box, and then paint the cells. Each piece of acetate for each frame painted.
Cool.
Yeah, you paint the colors on one side, and then you do the lines on the other, and then it actually looks really nice. Raffle has come to an end. The raffle has come to an end. Hiko6 and Sir DMX, you've missed the raffle. So let's do the giveaway. Who has won? Well, Hiko6, you're already in there. The winner is Fresh Meat. Well, congratulations, Fresh Meat. You're the winner. Actually, the winner is Pixel Shenanigans. Congratulations, Pixel Shenanigans. You are the winner. You are the winner. You are the winner. Pixel Shenanigans. Pixel Shenanigans. You are the winner. Along with Maymo. You have won. You can tell my mind's starting to go to fudge. I'm not that lucky, laughed Mamau. You won something the other day, Fresh Meat. You didn't realise that you raffled and you went to the toilet or something, and then you came back and you were a winner. So congratulations, Fresh Meat. Did I give you your winning? I can't remember. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I did. So in January, was it January the 12th? You said that the AI will be ready.
I said something along those lines.
Q1 goes on for oh my gosh. Oh my word. Oh Oh my word. Woo! Be careful. Be careful. Yolan missed the Yolan, you missed the raffle. Yolan's already got RayFire, but he doesn't have NeoFPS.
Oh, Yolan, what are you playing at?
Yolan, you missed the raffle, mate. Oh dear.
That's not cool. It's a timed collapse of the individual parts.
I got a feeling that you're going to be distracted with RayFire before you get working on your AI.
I might well be. I like it a lot.
Well, hopefully it's a start to a good relationship with you and Mia. So,
yeah. I wish I'd given myself more time. Getting this update out was a right pain, so I actually only ended up with a few hours to do it. I was even in the middle of sorting out the lobby scene from The Matrix. Use it as a demo.
Well, we can still do that. You know, in January we can do a YouTube video on it.
Do it at some point.
We can do an offline YouTube video recreating The Matrix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, buddy. I'm going to let you go to bed because it's 2:00.
Is it?
It is, mate. It's 2:00.
Crikey.
We did 4 hours.
Well, didn't feel like it.
I know.
Hang on, there's another 5 things on my list. I'm glad that we didn't reach the RayFire bit 2 hours ago. That would have been incredibly painful.
It would have been. It would have been incredibly embarrassing to do the RayFire bit.
It already was a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, but it's good. I like it. I love it. I'm gonna have a mess.
Well,
you show something cool.
I'm loving your updates to NeoFPS. You've done a lot since the last time you came on.
Yeah, I was actually before I came on, I was pretty nervous, thinking none of these big ticket things are in. I don't even know what I've done in the last because the interview was last time around was what, March, April?
Yeah, about that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, and then actually I started listing out all the things going through my release notes. And I was like, wow, I've actually filled an A4 page here. There's a lot of stuff. We haven't covered a chunk of stuff. It's all weird.
Sounds like it's time for me to prep Bolt Teaching Day 2. Oh, Yolan, get your stream ready so we can go raid you. Yolan, we're going to raid you. So, that was 12 days. We've done 12 days of Christmas. And to be fair, Zapfa Trapper, you've been in the chat for many of those days. So thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone who's been watching these 12 days to Christmas. I don't know why you know what, it's the bloody song. Because I always thought 12 days of Christmas were leading up to Christmas. But no, the 12 days of Christmas are after Christmas, are 12 days after Christmas, which is really annoying and stupid. So I thought, it would make sense. 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of Christmas, my true love gave to me. It'll be 12 days of doing asset leading up to Christmas Day. So when I found out that it was the other way around, I had to change it to Messi's 12 days to Christmas.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Exactly. So, I mean, don't act like you knew that it meant 12 days after Christmas.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Yeah. But we managed to do it. We did 12 days. In those 12 days, we even had some had double bills, some had triple bills of interviews. So it's amazing. Some of them lasted with one person for 4 hours, like with Yondel's NeoFPS with Chris here, and others went 6 hours with 3 people. So there you go. Thanks for all the interviews. Well, thank you all for being here. Thanks for all the subs. Thanks for the gifted subs. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for all the asset publishers who have provided prizes. Thank you to all of the members of the community who have donated prizes that they've got from things such as Humble Bundles. And thank you to Mrs. Santa Claus as well, for making sure that we actually get Santa visiting us with presents this year.
Keeping his cholesterol in check.
Exactly, keeping his cholesterol in check and making sure that he's sorted out his health insurance. I've been present for all the 12 streams, and I enjoyed myself immensely. Facebrighter, that takes 2 of us. Thank you for being there for all 12 of the streams. Awesome job with the Christmas interview. You are beautiful, Pixel Shenanigans. What a cool 12 days. Thanks for the interview. Thank you, you sexy badgers. A little bit off topic, but are you guys enjoying the challenges? Yes, we are enjoying the challenges. I haven't yet partaken in a challenge. Chris, have you seen the challenges on our Discord?
I've seen the odd one, yeah.
Have you partaken? You didn't cook a cake at home? For one of them was actually was make a cake challenge.
Oh no, I baked some bread yesterday.
Oh, what type of bread? Banana bread?
It was a fake sourdough.
Oh, I was about to say, was it sourdough? I do love a sourdough.
It was fake sourdough, so it's like nice fluffy bread, but you're using yogurt instead of whatever for the fat, so it kind of has that sourdough taste. But it's it's good. It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
It was good. Yogurt.
It's very good. It's my speciality.
No, mate. Motion graph is your speciality. That's
a good point, actually. Well, there is a bread baking motion graph behavior that you can stick on there.
What?
When you're crouch sliding along.
What?
I'm totally lying, of course.
I was going to say, get the slow motion one working first before you start putting the bacon and bread one on there.
True enough. Well, I'm pretty glad, actually. We've got through that and actually only found 2-ish bugs.
Oh, it's pretty impressive, though, to be fair, isn't it? Because normally we find a lot more bugs.
Yeah.
Not I mean of your assets, I mean in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, last one of mine was a bit buggy. It was a preview build, but it was a bit buggy.
Well, there you go. We didn't explode anything now. Well, Yolan's got his stream up, so we're going to go raid.
Yeah,
we're going to go raid Yolan Other. I'm going to say goodnight to you because you need to get yourself... You need to brush your teeth, wash your face, do your wee and get to bed.
Yep. Cheers, everyone.
I'll see you in the new year, buddy, when you've got the AI and the animations up.
Has it crept all the way back to like January 1st now?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I'll see you after the new year sometime.
Yeah, okay.
Before Easter.
Nice one. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, buddy, and a happy new year.
If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.